Praise to the supreme power of all that is in existence. Secondly, we will give due respect to our leader, Nasi Yashi Rabban Zavulun, as well as all the other dignitaries, the mothers, the children. I bid your names to our forefathers. Shabbat Shalom, Shalom Aleichem.
Shabbat Shalom, Shalom Aleichem.
How was everybody's week?
Awesome.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Every Sabbath is a special Sabbath. It doesn't matter what Sabbath it is. Every single seventh day is a day of the Almighty King.
Oh, yeah.
But today is a little different. We have some visitors with us today, some that we've known for many years and some that I've just met today. So, welcome.
Welcome.
One of you has a special place in my heart that I've known, that I've always gone to as an elder, and I felt that your knowledge supersedes one of many, and I appreciate that you are here today, sir. And I would ask you if you would lead us in prayer in the morning, if you don't mind. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Is he dead this way? Okay. Hallelujah. Barukata, Barukata, Ugola Shemiaka Elohenu, Moganenu, Ezrenu, Umalkenu, Kilaka, Laka, Rak Laka, Hakabod. Lakin Banu Lahistaka Wedefneka, our Shabbat, Tetlaka Modim, Rabin. TORAH Ba Le Hayenu Beyami Ma'ele. With TORAH Hadbarim, Asher Litnenu Hayomaze. Lim Son Hain Be Aneka Banu Yehovah. Ubakisha Lihio Imotanu, in Hadbarim, Asher Na Ase Litneka. Tavoleka, Ubo Lashimeka, with TORAH Ba Le Yom HaShabbat. Oh, blessed art thou, O Yehovah, our power. All praises, all honor, all glory unto thy high, much said by, Lord in name, from generation to generation, thou and thou alone art King of Israel. O Yehovah, our power and governor of our lives, we thank thee for the Shabbat day and all the rest that may be found therein. From the weariness which we experienced during a week, yea, Yehovah, since the last time that we came before thee and praised thy name together. Yea, all praises unto thee, as we once again come together, Yehovah, to learn those things that we must learn and do those things that we must do in order to be a favorable people in thy lives once again. Praises unto thee, Yehovah, and thanking thee once again for the life of the sons and the daughters of Israel. And let us proclaim, Hallelujah! 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 Hallelujah!
Shabbat Shalom. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Well, we will start as we do every week with the reading of Shemot 20 and verse 1. Let us all say Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And it says, I am Yehovah your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, out of the house of bondage. You shall not have no other God before me, and you shall not make yourself an idol, nor of any image of anything that is in the heavens above, on the earth beneath, or was in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them, nor shall you serve it. For I, Yehovah your Elohim, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity on the fathers and the children of the third and fourth generation of those who hate me, and showing loving kindness to thousands of those who love me, keep my commands. You shall not take the name of the Most High your power in vain, for Yehovah will not hold him guiltless who holds his name in vain. Remember the Shabbat day and keep it holy. You shall labor 6 days and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Shabbath to Yehovah your Elohim. And you shall not do no work therein, not you, nor your son, nor your daughter, your manservant, your maidservant, the cattle, nor the stranger who is within your gates. For in 6 days Yehovah made the heavens and the earth and the sea and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Therefore Yehovah blessed the seventh day and made it holy. Honor your father and your mother, so your days will be long in the land which Yehovah your Elohim is giving you. You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. You shall not cover your neighbor's house, your neighbor's wife, his manservant, his maidservant, his ox, his donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Psalms 92, a song for the Sabbath day. Let us all say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
It is good to give thanks to Yahweh and to sing praise to your mighty name, O Most High, to declare your kindness in the morning and your trustworthiness each night, on 10 strings and on the harp, to the sounding chords of a lyre. For you have made me rejoice at your work, O Yah. I shout for joy at the work of your hands. O Yahweh, how great are your works. Your thoughts are very deep. A senseless man does not know, nor does a fool understand this. And when the wrong spring up like grass and all the workers of wickedness blossom, it is for them to be destroyed forever. But you, Yah, are on high forever. For look, your enemies, O Yah, for look, your enemies do perish, and all workers of wickedness are scattered. But you lift up my horn of that of a wild ox, and I have been anointed with fresh oil. And my eye looks upon my enemies, and my ears hear the evildoers who rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like a palm tree, and he will grow like a cedar in Lebanon. And those who are planted in the house of Yahweh flourish in the courts of our power. And they will still bring forth fruit in an old age, and they will be full of sap and green to show Yahweh is upright. He is my rock, and in him there is no unrighteousness. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Psalms 124. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Had it not been for Yahweh who was on our side, let Yisrael now say. And had not been for Yahweh who was on our side when men rose up against us, they would have swallowed us alive in their burning rage against us. Then the waters would have overwhelmed us, and the stream would have gone over our being. Then the proud waters would have gone over our being. And blessed be Yah who did not give us his prey to their teeth. Our being has escaped like that of the bird from the trappers, and the snare was broken, and we have escaped. And our name is, and our help is in the name of Yahweh, maker of heaven and earth. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Psalms 125. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Those who trust in Yahweh are like Mount Sion. It is not shaken, and it remains forever. As mountains surround Yerushalayim, so Yahweh surrounds his people now and forever. For the scepter of wrongness shall not land on the land, shall not rest on the land allotted to the righteous, lest the righteous stretch forth their hands to unrighteousness. Do good, O Yah, to those who are good, and to those who are upright in their hearts. But to those who turn aside to their crooked ways, Yahweh shall lead them away with the workers of wickedness. Peace be upon Yisrael. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So you got Devarim chapter 6 and verse 4. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And it reads, Shema Yisrael, Yehovah Eloheinu, Yehovah Echad. And you shall love Yehovah Elohim with all your heart, with all your being, with all your might. And these words that I am commanding you today shall be upon your heart. And you shall teach them diligently to your children. And you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. And it shall be, when Yehovah Elohim brings you to this land that he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Yitzchak, and to Yaakov, to give you great and good cities which you did not build, and houses full of all kinds of goods which you did not fill, and wells dug out which you did not dig, vineyards of olive trees which you did not plant, and you shall eat and be satisfied. And beyond God, lest you forget Yahweh who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, out of the house of bondage. Fear Yahweh Elohim and serve him, and swear by his name. Him you shall serve, and by his name you shall swear. And do not go after other mighty ones, or the mighty ones of the people that are all around you. For Yahweh Elohim is a jealous El in your midst. And lest the displeasure of Yahweh Elohim burn against you, he destroy you off the face of the earth. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Today is the 26th, according to the Gregorian calendar. So as I do every week, for the proverb of the day is 26th proverb. So Mishlei chapter 26 and verse 1. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Like snow in summer and rain in harvest, so a scheme is not fitting for a fool. As a bird wanders, as a swallow flies, so a curse without cause is not come. A whip for a horse, a bridle for a donkey, and a rod for a fool's back. Do not answer his like him. Answer a fool according to his father, lest he become wise in his own eyes. He who sends a message by the hand of a fool cuts off feet and drinks damage. The legs of the lame hang limp. So is a proverb in the mouth of fools. Like one binding a stone in a sling, so is he who gives esteem to a fool. A thorn goes into a hand of a drunkard, so is a proverb in the mouth of fools. An archer who wounds anyone is he who hires a fool or any passerby. As a dog returns to his own vomit, so a fool repeats his folly. Have you seen a man wise in his own eyes? There is more expectancy for a fool than for him. The lazy one says, there is a lion in the way, a fierce lion is in the streets. As a door turns on its hinges, so does the lazy one turn on his bed. The lazy one buries his head in a dish. It tires him out to bring it back to his mouth. The lazy one is wiser in his own eyes than 7 wandering advice. A passerby meddling in a strife, not his own, is like one who takes a dog by his ears, like a madman who throws sparks, arrows, and death. So is a man who deceives his neighbor and says, I was only joking. For lack of wood, the fire goes out, And without a slanderer, strife ceases. As charcoal is to burning coals and wood fire, so is a contentious man to kindle. So is a contentious man to kindle strife. The words of a slanderer are as a dainty morsel, which go down into the inner parts of the heart. Burning lips with an evil heart are like earthenware covered with silver dross. He who hates pretends with his lips and lays up deceit within him. Though he speaks kindly, do not believe him, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Hatred is covered by deceit. His evil is disclosed in the assembly. Whoever digs a pit falls into it, and whoever rolls a stone, it turns back on him. A lying tongue hates its bruised ones, and a flattering mouth works ruin. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
At this juncture, I will call up Asael, who will perform our praise and worship service. Let us all say hallelujah.
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 Baruch Hashem. By the rivers of Babylon, yeah, we stand. Bengals, When you wake up in the morning and it's raining, realize you can't take it, or you won't get it started. The world is happiness, it's not easy. All your situations just don't seem to work out right. Pick up your vision. Oh,
Open up
There's a land over there across the water. There's a land over there across the Israel was in Egypt's land.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. May be seated. We soon gonna do the Torah reading. We're waiting on a few people. But all praise and honor and glory to the supreme intellect of the universe, Yah, our forefathers, Yah, Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Thank you the Most High for blessing us, allowing us to make it to a Sabbath day. I just want to touch on a few things, just something small and brief. And I really had a place in life that's very powerful, man, because when you dream something and you put it in the atmosphere and there's obstacles in the way, it seems like it's almost impossible to reach your goal. But our goal has been for the past 7 years, or even probably more than that, is to get our own land.
Oh, yeah.
And we finally have done it. So the Almighty is so gracious and blessing, putting something upon us that is so divine. Like, the day has come. Like, can you believe that? Like, right around the corner. This is our last week here. And we thank all those who allowed us to be here. But we have bigger and better things to do now.
Oh, yeah.
We will start, next week we'll be in the park for the first week. And then after that, we will be having services on the land so people can get a feel. It's a travel, but everything comes with a sacrifice. I don't want to hear complaints. Oh, it takes too long to get there, I'm tired. Everything comes with a sacrifice. If you're not willing to sacrifice, then you aren't willing to have progression in your community. The Almighty blessed us with 70 acres. 70 acres. So, and the people that the individual that I'm working with besides Shomrey Israel is a brother by the name of Rob Zuridan Maury Michel's son. And Rob Zuridan has been a very intricate part in doing this because me and him speak frequently, and we were like, we have to do something for the elders. And this is why in this land, we are housing elders. We're looking for 3 elders that want to be a part and live on the land, and they will provide homes for our elders. This is the first thing that we're doing. The next portion is that we're collecting memorabilia from our elders, some that passed, some that still living, and we're creating the Israelite Museum. And this is something that people can come from all over the place and travel from afar to be a part of and witness. And we're going to ask for the donations or even special garments or even jewelry that our elders had that we can remember them and some of the history of who they are. We can't move forward if we don't know our history. And this is why it's imperative when we read this Torah, we learn about the patterns of our people, and we see the patterns of our people inside ourselves. Them people that God was speaking to at Mount Sinai is you. This is why you're responsible for this law. He spoke to the same people, the same genes. You have things inside of you called dormant DNA, which they believe is dormant, but it's really information from your ancestors. Only thing your ancestors did was duplicate the cells and put it inside of you. You're just living them. You're living a memory. You have all of this in you. So yes, we're responsible for it. This is why in our scriptures we pray for our sins and the sins of who? Our forefathers. There's no detachment. The generational divide is only given to us by Europeans. Because in truth, there is no division in the generation because we all are one. But one has to believe this. Moses was arguing with a group of people that didn't even curse him. He said, it's because of you that I didn't go into the land. No, that was their parents. These were the children. But sometimes we hold on to these divides. And we have to let go and we have to build. My job, and when I changed in life and when I became a different person, is because I love my father. And I love my mother. But more so in the spiritual walk, my father. And why do I say that? It's because he made me who I am. He instilled the belief of being an Israelite inside of me and that it was everything to me. So it's no different that us now, when we buy this land, that we're trying to make our elders happy. We always talk about law. But what happens to the congregations? They get smaller and smaller. And then the quality of people become different and different because more so we're in society. Society, the bigger society is, the more it has an effect on the smaller social units. So you're a Hebrew Israelite trapped in America. Do you think that some of this American ideology is not going to rub off on you? What about your children who sent to these schools? Do you think that they're not going to come back thinking American? Our children are beloved. Our children are something that's so special to us that we realize that, hey, I want to teach my children. Most of us here, our children that's under the ages of 11 or 12 and under, all of them are inside of our home being homeschooled.
Yeah, that's right.
We're talking about 8 families, almost 7 to 8 families schooling their own children inside of their house. And that's a step that took progression because some people don't believe in that. Some people still are glorifying their children graduating in a system that isn't of theirs. Yeah, my son made it to 6th grade of Westernization. I'm so proud of him. Straight A's of Western imperialism. But we don't see nothing wrong with it. And we have elders here today who, one of the elders, Sir Yaakov, has triggered something in me a long time ago. He may not take credit for it. But on the deep aspect, he brought me into a world where things aren't as they seem. And he used to say that, and when I was young, I didn't understand. I never understood it. He was like, yeah, man, it's deep, man. You read the book of Yashar, and people would condemn Yashar, but Sarah was in all of these books. He put me onto a man, Zachariah Sitchin. He said, young man, when you read this book, please be careful. And I listened to his words. My father heard I reading these books. He was like, boy, if you read more of the books, I ain't with you. But it wasn't because he was trying to ostracize me from learning. He didn't want me to get caught up in something that was ungodly. But I can tell people, my knowledge and education from the Torah is only making me more godly. Oh, yeah. My base is in the scriptures. And in it takes a generation. And I glorify the generation we had before. The reason why, because there's certain things that we do nowadays that have never been done before. Never. Let's look at being on time. On time was so important to the generation before. But now in services, you might not fill up to 2 hours later. It's a lack of discipline and a lack of respect and reverence for the Almighty Creator. Oh, yeah. And this is the discipline of our elders and our ancestors. That it isn't for the elders to restrain the youth from going and getting more information, but it's letting them go out to make sure they still have that solid foundation, that they ain't going too far. Look at you, boy. You all right? You still doing the Lord? You know what I mean? Make sure to give that zeal, because guess what? Everything, even a child, is called a bane. And the bane comes from the understanding of binah, which is the understanding to build. And bond is a brick, is a layer. Each child is supposed to be built up from foundation for foundation. So the elders is the foundation, they're the first layer. And then it becomes another group of elders. Then it goes on and on, but we build upon the foundation that was put before us by our ancestors. And this dream of a land is not coming from me. I'll be generic to tell you that that was me. Adon Seth, right? His father had land. Had land. Still does? It's gone now. It's gone. Why? Because we didn't value it. What happens when the elders die? We want to get the land, sell it, and divide the proceeds. Then you come in like, yo, wait, yeah, this is my new flat screen. We sold inheritance. And the Israelite tradition, nakalat or nakalot, is inheritance is so imperative to us existing. So now in this community that we're establishing, you have the ability to purchase your acreage. And we started out at 0.6 per individual. Per 6 acres per individual. You can buy as much as you want. But there's a stipulation involved in it. You cannot sell this to anybody outside the community.
Hallelujah.
You can't sell it. And when you're there, you're under the body of the government there. And this is why we got to protect it, because now under this, you cannot. We don't want to be like Harlem. What happened to Harlem was black owned. Harlem had all the sophisticated blacks in one planet. Everybody came to Harlem. But what happened? We sent them into American institutions. And when they came back, they started working for the corporations instead of coming back into the mom and pop stores that was built there and building it up. So eventually, these stores became antiquated and people were moving out of Harlem into rural areas that were full of white people. Because we tend to measure our success upon the Europeans that we're around. I can't be in the hood no more. But the hood got some of the best living too. It's just that we have to change the mindset of individuals that surround the hood. The hood is only cheap because people don't take and respect it. So teach your children how to reverence something. What happens when the blacks, we move into these white neighborhoods, then you say, yeah, I'm over here, another black move over here. What happened to the white people? They move out. You're like, hey, tell me where you going. Hey, man, I got to get out of here. And then they move at where you left. They go right back in the city. It's because in our mind, we are identifying success with European values. We are identifying ourselves with European values. This can't be so. Our children's intelligence is worth everything. When we had the Israelite Institute, the II, our children were going to college at 13 and 14. Am I lying? What in our minds will make us say, we don't want to do this no more? Children were going to college at 13, 14, and 15. There was something in your mind that said, no, I want my child to graduate at 18. I don't want them to be ahead. Because no matter what, we all have self-hatred inside of us, even in our evolution. Come on now, y'all know that. Y'all read them Donald Goines novels? Donald Goines had him a little white girl, made him feel successful. But was he pro-black? Yes, he was. But there was something about what the white people had that made us feel good about ourselves. But now you have the opportunity to build something. And this is not separate from anybody. This venue is not just the Shomrey HaTorah thing. This is people building land. We're talking about 70 acres. You know how many acres, what an acre is? An acre is a football field. You're talking about 70 football fields. And when we when we agreed to the deal on the land and signed off on it, we agreed to 62 acres until we got it surveyed, and it was 70. That's spiritual. There's something behind that. The brother said, I said, let's get more people involved. He said, no. He said, let's not get more people involved. He said, because you're going to have people start filibustering. They're going to start talking, and they're going to delay it. He said, just build it and buy it, and then people will come. He said, because we have been used to abstract concepts where people say stuff we should do. How long we teach? We need a community. We taught that all along, but we used to it now. We come to services, we need a community. But we justify our action, our response, because this is what we were taught in church. If you wanted a community, you would have a community. And now we're here. And this is not, this is to my elders. This community is your community. It's to everybody who wants to be a part if you're interested. Because we want to have something for the salvation. Imagine all of this. Imagine all of this. As an elder, you're 80, you're 70 years old, and you spend your last 50 years. I ain't say, you know what I mean? I can give you 20, I gave you 50 at 80. 130, yeah, y'all looking good. 120. And then we have a place to what? Bury you. Huh? We bury our own. And we love our own. And imagine a community where you don't even have to work. You got your little pension coming in or whatever you got from the government, and your house is paid for because that's what we're doing for our elders. And you got that money coming in, and all you have to do is make sure things are running smoothly in your community. And you got all the children, all the adults, everybody there. We all together. Hebrews being spoken. Is that important, Sarah?
Very.
This Hebrew is being spoken now. We living it. We talking it. And we building. We out there. Hey, brother, this brother fence is broken. Let's go fix his fence. And they like, look at his fence. We not like that. We like, hey, bro, your fence broken. You need help? No, I'm good, bro. I was going to get you. No, bro, we got this today. You busy? We work on this today. I mean, imagine that. You ain't got no sugar. And you go right next door to your brother. Hey, brother, can I get some sugar? Like, yeah. Oh, yeah, I need some milk, too. You got some milk? Yeah, brother, here you go. But we loving each other. But what's going to happen is everybody's going to shed a tear once they step foot on that land and actually live there. And it's called Project Goshen. Most High is not going to take us from a land and just throw us into Israel. He's not. You have to learn how to live and love and be with each other. Mm-hmm. We got to learn it. That's right. And I'm willing to say, hey, we've been through a lot with each other, haven't we? It's the past. It's the past. You know why? Because we all are changing, we're evolving, and we come from different walks in life, so we have to be able to move on. Somebody hurt you, that's okay. They're human. We're all human beings here. Because guess what? You hurt somebody too. Don't play like you ain't hurt nobody's feelings. We have to be able to grow and move forward. We really do.
Oh, yeah.
As long as it's not detrimental to our movement. Now there is an if and but in it, because you can say, hey, everything is good, and it's not good. We want to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody loves each other. Everybody want to be around each other. There's nothing that's stopping us. We are limitless in what we do. And the Almighty is so beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
And I just thank him. I just thank him. I know how much we've been through. And it's all of us. We've been through a lot. We lost people. And I'm talking about from death. People are popping up sick. And these sicknesses are only coming from what society is putting in us. You have something as a black person that's so beautiful. You secrete the most melanin and melatonin. It allows you, melatonin allows you to fight off any disease that's from the destructive mitochondrial DNA inside the human body. It heals and repairs. And this is why sleep is imperative, because you produce the most melatonin when you sleep. So the more and more we understand how our body functions, the more and more we can get closer to God. And you don't need 8 hours. You just need some good sleep. You ever been somewhere and you dozed off for 2 hours in the middle of the day?
That's something great, yeah.
And you woke up like, dang, boy, I'm new. You felt like you was new. And that 8 hour sleep may not have been the best. But you were new when you woke up. You're like, man, you feel real good about yourself. Or you ever been asleep in a suit coat and you're dwelling in a booth or a tent and you're outside? You notice that when you sleep, all that oxygen that you're receiving is healing your body? Because you're outside. The problem with us as humans is we're not outside as much. We're not. Close the window, girl. I need some AC. I need some Freon. Give me some Freon. Open the window, let the oxygen in and breathe. Everything, even when you eat food, it breaks down food into glucose and oxygen. This is all you need. You see them football players, how you think they heal?
Oxygen, they have tanks. Like,
they go into an oxygen tank.
Like a spaceship tank.
And they sit up in there for hours and they inhale all that oxygen and they heal faster than this ain't no new technology. Breathe. Yeah. You can get one, that's like $4,000. But we want a TV.
They got oxygen bars.
We want a TV, they got oxygen bars. No thing. Come on, get some of this. What's this? You're like, whoa, this is good. No, you want hookah. You want hookah. We know, it's all of us. I'm talking about all of us. But it is. But imagine oxygen bar. Like, when we ever decide to go to oxygen bar, that sound like something cool, don't it?
That'd be cool.
I tried. Give me some oxygen.
That's great.
Yeah.
Possible to-
But the Most High is excellent, and this is not far off. We're talking about actually starting to have services in 2 weeks on the land. We're talking about moving on the land in the next 2 to 3 months. We have to have an exit strategy. All the elite brothers here, we're going to put together an exit strategy for us to get there, make sure no families left behind, because we need everybody there. I don't want everybody. I want to be there by myself. It's like, why you in at the land, man? Ain't nobody there. Shoot. But we gonna have to go together. Can't other.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
What is true utility? Because you have to have some type of utility. More money in the land is for the people, right?
Yeah, it's utilities on the land.
Is that already set up or about to be set up?
It's water and water. As soon as you put a house out there, they'll attach the city water into the thing.
Should do solar.
I don't know about electrical water. You trying to die, huh? Take that bath like.
But no, that's very important.
No. It's electricity. All that stuff. Only thing that because the land is so vast, the only thing you're probably gonna have to attach is a septic tank to your house. As far as the sewage, there's no sewage, but it's water and electricity. And there's ways to get around electricity anyway. All those who have land know it, that all you gotta do is you get electrical energy from the ground. But it's illegal, but you can do it. But we ain't gonna talk about that right now. People watching this. So all praise, all honor, all glory to the supreme intellect of the universe. I want to go to our Torah reading, but we are kind of running behind. So I want to get into a couple of things. I'm gonna call up our elder to give us a few words, if you can. Okay.
Sure.
All right, come here with this fly garment like me. You know, he came on here with that fly garment for a reason. Our elder Sarah, our elder Sarah and Yaakov. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Shalom, now. Giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yah Elohim, Asher Bara Hashemayim, where honors for Had Badi and Bevoto. I'd like to thank the Creator of the heaven and the earth and the sea, the possessor thereof of all things in it. Thank you for my life and for your life on this holy Shabbat day. We came here today because we wanted to once again build bridges. We know that we've had some discrepancies between people in Israel, and we're here to once again, like I said, build some bridges and cause things to be back the way they were. And I was reading this morning, and I came across something in 1st and 2nd Samuel. And it was talking about David and Jonathan. And it talked about the love that they had one with another. And we've more or less kind of looked at that and read that story before. Everybody knows about the story with David and Goliath and how it all started. And the day that David took Goliath's head, Jonathan loved him, stripped himself of his own armor and gave it to David and said, "You're the one. You're the one because out of all the men of Israel, you're the only one that had the courage to stand up against Goliath." And that brought me to a particular portion where I mentioned, I mentioned to myself, how the Most High spoke about be strong and of good courage. He told that to one of our greatest generals, Yehoshua ben Nun. And he told him also, in order to be strong and of good courage, you have to be in the Torah day and night. And by being in the Torah day and night, then shall your ways be prosperous. And so I was looking at that this morning, and I wrote down a few things. I told, would you handle my bag? Should I like to kind of, I could. And do we have a reader? Yes. So,
Sorry about that, sir.
You good?
kind of wanted to be prepared, but Don Nasiba had called me up to read or anything. And I just wrote down a few things. And it's about David and Goliath and the prophet Samuel. Shamuel means that the root of that particular name, or the root of that particular word, is to shema, to listen, to hear. So the word Shemuel is saying we all will listen unto the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Surely it's who I'm talking about. And if you'll go with me, Babak Bashar, to the book of 1 Samuel, and let's go to the 15th chapter, the 17th verse. Let's start there for a moment.
We are in the book of Shemuel Aleph, chapter 15 and verse 17. Let us all say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And Shemuel said, though you were little in your sight, in your own sight, weren't you made head of the tribe of Israel? And the Most High anointed you king over Israel. And the Most High sent you on a journey and said, go and utterly destroy the sinners of Amalekite.
Let's stop right here. Let's try to understand exactly where we're at. The sons of Amalek came upon us in the wilderness as we were coming out of the land of Egypt. And of course, you know, as we was coming out of the land of Egypt, we were wandering in the various wilderness it was. And we seemed to have stragglers, those who were not in the front and those who kind of straggle behind. And who straggles behind? Is it not the old? Is it not the crippled? Is it not those who are tired? And these people, the Amalekites, came up against us to war. Now, they didn't come up against us, against the men who were men of war. They came upon the sick and those who were straggling, those who were defenseless, and they smote them. And by the time we got here to try to rescue them, most of them were dead and the Amalekites had left. But the Most High did not forget that. He said, you know what? Shaul, being you brand new king of Israel, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go and destroy the Amalekites. I mean, I want you to destroy man and woman, suckling and ox, sheep and ass. Everything that breathes, I want you to take them out because of what they did to the sons and the daughters of Israel when I brought them up out of the land of Egypt. Come, chief.
And fight against them until they are consumed.
So the Most High sent Saul to take care of this particular little business that he had with this particular tribe called Amalek. Tom Sheep.
Why then didn't you obey the voice of Jehovah, but flew on the spoil, and did that which was evil in the sight of Jehovah?
And what was evil? The fact that Saul did not command the people as a king or as a leader should have. A leader, when he's given a responsibility, when he's given an obligation, when there's something that he has to do, and he's commanded by the Creator to do it specifically according to these parameters, this is what a leader should be about. Anytime you deviate from that, then you're not hearkening to the words of Yah, our power. Anytime you move to the left or you move to the right, you're moving on your own volition. You're not dealing with the Creator anymore. You're dealing with what you think. And Saul had a valid excuse, as we're going to find out. Tom C, it goes on.
Shaul said to Shemuel, yes, I have obeyed the voice of the Most High, and have gone the way which Jehovah sent me, and have brought Agag, the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekite. But the people took of the spoil, sheep, oxen, and the chief of the devoted things, to sacrifice to Jehovah our power in Gilgal. Shemuel said, has the Most High as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of Jehovah?
To obey, my brothers and my sisters, to obey is the salient point. No matter what you do, you must obey. This is the only thing that the Creator would even recognize, is to you obeying his voice. He tells us time and time and time again to obey his voice. Do that which I tell you to do, not what you want to do, not what circumstances tell you to do, but what I tell you to do. And especially for a leader, you must remain in that parameter. And by doing so, you are safe. Tom Sheik, let's go on and listen to this excuse.
He says, behold, to obey is better than sacrifice.
Amen.
And to listen than the fat of ram.
To listen.
For rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as idolatry and teraphim. Because you have rejected the word of Jehovah, he also rejected you.
So let's listen to these things that Samuel said. He said that when you disobey, it's like idolatry. It's like teraphim. It's like you're doing something that's completely different than what the Creator told you to do. And even though Saul cries out, but wait a minute, these circumstances happen, and I had to move in this particular direction, You don't always have to move in that direction. This is why we call on you being strong and of good courage. In Yah Eloheinu. Tom Shiki goes on and it says,
Shaul said to Shemuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the mitzvah of the Most High,
yes,
and your words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice.
Because what?
Because he feared the people.
He feared the people and began to obey their voice. But whose voice was he supposed to obey? Yah Eloheinu. Thus, that's the voice that he was supposed to obey. Not man, but Elohim. So we have to make a distinction about that. No matter what man tells you, no matter what circumstance arise, you must obey. You must stay true to the quest and to the mission that you're on. The Most High send you on a mission. Guess what? That is the mission. And you know what he had to do? He should have had his chosen captains by him and said, whoever disobeys this word, his head is going to roll.
Okay.
Simple as that. I want to talk about today respect to leaders who show that they are worthy. And that's the only thing that you and I have to deal with. In order to gain our respect, we the people of the house of Israel, we must trust you. But in order to trust you, you must be a proven leader. Understand that. We are people, we are definitely with whoever's winning. Whoever's winning, that's whose side that we on. You understand? Now, if you winning with y'all, guess what? We with you. Wasn't it shown with Dawid? When Dawid started winning, everybody said they started singing songs about him. I mean, you know, the women were dancing and saying, well, Saul has slain his 1,000, but David his 10,000. It wasn't really 10,000, but it seemed like to them because they trusted that leader. Respect. Respect. Move into Samuel 17.
Chapter 17, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we got to look at this thing. The thing that we're looking for today is trust. We have to have trust in one another. I was talking about a beautiful program. But you know what's going to make that program work? Trust in one another. That is the salient point. That when you go on a mission like that, you have to trust those who are in charge. The man talked about a government being on that land. You have to trust in that government. You can't be one of those complainers. You have to understand and realize that I understand that now I'm under the jurisdiction of not someone who's my slave master, but my brother who has eyes like I have, got hair like me. You understand? Got a spirit like mine. You understand? Therefore, I can begin to trust. Because until the day I begin to trust, I'm going to remain bound if I do not. I'll be bound to those who are so-called oppressors over me. These things we must consider, Israel. 1 Samuel 17:17 says,
Yeshai said to David, his son, take now for your brothers an ephah of this parched grain, and these 10 loaves, and carry them quickly to the camp to your brothers, and bring these 10 cheeses to the captains of their thousands.
Let's stop right there. Because what did he say? He said, take these 10 loaves, so I'm going to send you to your brothers who are in the valley of Elah, and they're fighting. I'm going to send some food there. Because if Israel's out there, you know, they've been out there for what, 40 days? They've been out there a long time fighting those Philistines. And take these special cheeses that we have and give them to who? The captain of their thousands. And what does that tell us? That tells us there was captains of thousands, captains of hundreds, captains of 50, and captains of 10, just like Jethro told Moshe. You understand what we're talking about here? We're talking about heritage, culture, and tradition. But Yeshai trusted so much in Saul and the army and the men of Israel that he would send a present from his own house by the messenger, his son, Dawid, sent a messenger and with the present to those who are in charge. In this case, the captain. Not only the captain, but even David talked about the next person who are going to be the keepers of the baggage, excuse me. You know, there was a time when some men told David, no, well, you know, guess what? You know, let these guys go with their wives and their children, man, you know, because they didn't come up with us to the bank. David said, no. Not like Saul now. Not like listening to the voice of the people. Know what David said? He said the man that stayed by the baggage is just like the man that's on the front line. We all share. And that's why Israel loved him. Because he was talking about everybody, covering all bases. Respect to leaders who are therefore worthy. Tom Sheep with the end of it, Johnny.
And it says, and look how your brothers fared, and take their pledge. Now Shaul and they, and all of the men of Israel were in the valley of Elah, fighting with the Philistines. David rose up early in the morning, and left the sheep with the keeper, and took and went, as Yeshai had commanded him. And he came to the place of the wagons, as the hosts which were going forth to fight Shabbath for battle. Israel and the Philistines put the battle in array, army against army.
Yes.
David left his baggage and handed the keeper. David left his baggage in the hand of the keeper of the baggage, and ran to the army and came and greeted his brothers. And he talked with them. Behold, there came a champion of the Philistines of God, Goliath by name, out of the ranks of the Philistines, and spoke according to the same words, and David heard them. All the men of Israel, when they saw the man, fled from him, and they were so afraid. And the men of Israel said, have you seen this man who has come upon us? Surely to defy Israel. And he came up, and it shall be that the man who kills him, the king, will enrich him with the great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel. And David spoke to the men who stood by him, saying, what shall be done to the man who kills the Philistine, and take away the reproach of Israel?
Amen.
For who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living Elohim?
Speak about it. Now you gotta understand, this young man would come up and say like that. Everybody else is afraid. I know y'all heard this story. So it ain't nothing new to you. I understand and realize that. But every time I hear those words, we say, who is this Philistine? Come up against the armies of the living power. Don't y'all feel that way in this day and time? Well, you should. You should feel that way in this day and time. You should have that feeling in you. You talked about the feeling of donasi that we should have. We should have that courage in us. You said it's in our DNA. You said that it lies dormant to some people, but you and I know that it's still there. It's there. And these words should they should just fire you up. I love the point where David comes in and walks in Saul's tent and said, let no man's heart fear. I'll go and fight this Philistine. Strong and of good courage. Most High don't like no punks. I want to tell you right now. He don't like no punks. But being strong and of good courage and of good mind to be able to make good decisions. That's what we look for in our leaders. Let's move to Samuel 18. Verse.
Samuel left 18 and verse 1. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
And it happened when he made an end of speaking to Shaul, the soul of Jonathan, with knit in the soul of David.
Amen.
And Jonathan loved him as his own soul.
Can you imagine? And you know why? Because he was up, his father was afraid, all the men of Israel was afraid. He's the prince of Israel. You know, you saying, man, what's going to happen in my reign? What am I dealing with? What kind of people am I dealing with? They see a champion come up out of the enemy's ranks, and guess what? And they run like rabbits. Come on now. That's not what we made of. He knew about Joshua. He knew about Moshe. He knew about all the great warriors of Israel. He knew about that. Then he said, well, look here, to a servant, let's go on up on this rocky crag and show ourselves to the Philistines. If the Philistines say, come on up, you know, that means that Jehovah is what? Deliver them into our hand. If they say, stay here, I'll come down and get you, then guess what? We're going to be here. Me and my armor bearer. We're going to take them out right here. And what happened? The Philistines said, come on up, Hebrews. And they came on up. And what happened? They took them all out. Be strong and of good courage. Don't let nothing cause your heart to fear. You are living in a great time, Israel. That is the time of the restoration of the house of Israel all over the earth. Not just here, all over the earth. And you must show yourself strong. You must show yourself as a servant of the living power. And you have to do that not only by being strong and of good courage, by being wise in the way that you deal with these people. Understand and realize now it's your turn. If they understand it, they realize that's why they protested. That's why the alt-right is there. That's why the Ku Klux Klan is there. That's why the Nazis are there. Because they're saying, y'all are getting ready to raise up, and we can't have that.
Yeah.
But guess what? You're going to have it.
Right.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not. Because the cup of fury has passed from our hands and into yours. Tom Shiki goes on and it says,
Shaul took him that day and would let him go no more to home after his father.
Amen. In other words, love thy brother as you love yourself. And that's what Jonathan did. And sometimes I wonder, what about these conversations between David and Jonathan that are not written in this book? How they sat down brother to brother and just started talking. And so how that love just came and just grew and grew and grew, because they both understood that they were servants of Yah. They both understood that, guess what, they have to deliver their people. They both understood that they have to be a great nation. See, they wasn't talking on no small terms. They was talking about the future and the house of Israel and what they should do and how they should bring it together and what nation they're going to conquer in the process. Yeah. 19:1,
Samuel 11, 19 and 1. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And Shaul spoke to Jonathan his son and to all his servants that they should kill David. But Jonathan, Shaul's son, delighted much in David. Jonathan told David, saying, Shaul, my father, seeks to kill you. Now therefore, please take care of yourself in the morning and live in a secret place and hide yourself.
Amen.
And I will go out and stand beside my father in the field where you are, and I will commune with my father of you. And if I see anything, I will tell you. Jonathan spoke good of David to Shaul his father and said to him, don't let the king sin against his servant, against David, because he has not sinned against you, and because his works have been very good towards you. For he put in his life in he has put his life in his hand and struck the Philistine, and the Most High worked a great victory over Israel for Israel. And you saw it, and you rejoiced, and then you will sin against innocent blood to kill David without cause.
Amen. So here's Jonathan again. He's giving you another reason why he and David were so tight, were knit so tight in the sight of his father. One thing I got to say about Jonathan, you never saw him go against Saul. Never. He never went up against his father and said, his father, you know what, guess what, you're wrong totally, and guess what, and David is so and so and so and so, and I want to be with David. That's not what he said. He said, David is your servant. He does everything that you say you want done. As we know, he gives you 100 foreskins of the Philistines, and that, my brothers, is no light task. You understand? Because ain't no Philistine giving up no foreskin. You understand what I'm talking about? So he said, this is your servant. Why are you doing that? Everything is fine until the green monster appears. Who is that? Jealousy. Well, don't we have that in Israel in this day and time? Unbelievable. We all scratching. We all trying to gain our dignity once again, and we got a nerve to be jealous about the next brother. Let that brother succeed. When he succeeds, I succeed. Yeah. Don't you know it? Samuel 21. 20 and 1.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And David fled from Nayot and Ramah and came and said before Jonathan, what have I done? What is my iniquity? And what is my sin before your father, that he seeks my life? And he said to him, far from it, you shall not die. Behold, my father does nothing either great nor small, but that he discloses it to me.
And I love that about Saul. You know what he does? He had a son who was a prince, and what did he tell that prince? He said, I don't do nothing. The prince of Israel said, my father does not do anything other than expose to me exactly what he's going to do. So Jonathan, in a sense, was what? Was Saul's right-hand man. Whatever he was getting ready to do, he would sit down and talk with Jonathan about it, you know what I mean? And then, make the decision to go do it, But his son, the next prince of Israel, knew exactly, like his every move, so that, guess what? I'm teaching you, son, how to be a king. We need to take some of these lessons, man. I'm telling you. We need to take some of these lessons and bring it home to our house. You understand? And we need to move this nation forward in the manner that we need to do it. If you got many sons, find the one that got the most sense. You understand? It's simple. It ain't difficult. Find the one that got the most sense, and guess what? That's the one. You understand? Build them up and bring them to be a leader in Israel. Tom sheet.
But he discloses it to me. And why should my father hide this thing from me? Is it not so? And David swore moreover and said, your father knows well that I have found favor in your eyes. And he said, don't let Jonathan know this. Let he be grieved. But truly, as the Most High lives, as our soul lives, there is but a step between me and death. Then said Jonathan to David, whatever your soul desires, I will even do it for you. And David said to Jonathan, behold, tomorrow is a new moon, and I shall not fail to sit with the king at meat.
Amen. So stop right there. So again, if we're talking about what? Something that we should know about. It's called what? Chodesh what? The new moon, Yisrael. Y'all see it. Then you see the new moon that just appeared. Don't you know that we drawing near the 7th month? And what happens in the 7th month? Is not the holy days coming upon us? Well, we should be about this. Is this not our heritage? This belongs to us. The heavens and the earth respond unto the house of Yisrael, providing we are in the right vein. Let us stay in the right vein. So, Jonathan says, the new moon is showing up, and guess what? That's the time when everybody comes to the king's table, all those who are nobles, all those who are called, all those who are bidden. Come, Chief.
And it says, but let me go, that I might hide myself in the field on the 3rd day at evening. And if your father misses me at all, then say, David earnestly asked leave of me that might run to Bethlehem, his city. For it is the early sacrifice, therefore all the family. If he says thus, it is well, your servant shall have shalom. But if he is angry, then know that evil is determined by him.
Amen.
Therefore deal kindly with your servant, for you have brought your servant into a covenant of Jehovah with you.
A covenant of what? A covenant. He and his brothers making covenant outside of the covenant. Well, it's called brotherhood, isn't it? It's called love for your brother. It's called love for your, not your brother, but your friend. You know how rare it is to find a friend in Israel? Or anywhere anywhere in the earth? And what is a friend? Well, the friend is there in good times and bad, right?
That's right.
The friend is there when it's really bad, and guess what? He's there saying, is there anything that I can do? You understand? You got calamity, guess what? I'm going to make sure that no one else sees your calamity because I'm right here hiding it for you. I'm talking about a friend and say, you know what? Guess what? I see that you're prospering, you're doing well and everything. I want to rejoice for you. You understand? I want to rejoice with you. I'm so glad that the Most High called this to come upon you. It is your time. You are now coming into your own as a man. That's your friend. A friend is better than gold. A friend is better than fine gold. There's nothing like a friend, especially when they can come in a covenant with you. That means that guess what? You ain't got to worry about nothing. No matter what happens in your life or mine, I'm there for you. And guess what? Evidently, you're there for me. That's what friendship is. And those are the type of ties that we have to make. We have to bind those ties in Israel. Yes, you may do this, I may do that. It doesn't make any difference because we are friends. And I'm there when you need me. And you're there when I need you. He goes on with these two brothers.
But if there be iniquity, kill me yourself.
Amen. Then what did David say? If I'm iniquitous in any manner, if I'm wicked, am I doing something wrong, then you kill me.
For why should you bring me to your father? Jonathan said, far be it from you. For if I should at all know the evil which was determined by my father to come upon you, then wouldn't I have told you that? Then David said to Jonathan, who shall tell me of purchase? But your father answered you roughly. Jonathan said to David, come and let us go out into the field. And they went both into the field. And Jonathan said to David, the Most High, Elohim of Israel, be witnesses. Be witness. When I have sounded my father about this time tomorrow or on the 3rd day, behold, if there be good toward David, shall I not then send to you and disclose it to you? And the Most High do so to Jonathan, and more also should it please my father to do you evil, if I don't disclose it to you and send you.
Oh man, so do you notice how this brother is talking about the Most High? But we know Dawid does it, right? We know that he writes poems and he does this and he does that before he does anything. But look at Jonathan. Look at the Prince of Israel. Look at him. Everything about his whole life is about the Creator. He knows that it's not his father and his father's powers that he's going to be glorifying. He knows it comes from Yah. That's why these two brothers were like that. Because they both knew Yah. And they knew that all things come from the Creator. Good and bad. He knows that. Tom sheep.
And that you might go in shalom, and the Most High be with you, as he has been with my father. And you shall not only while yet I live show me the loving
Listen
kindness.
to Jonathan now.
You shall not only while I yet live show me the loving kindness of the Most High, that I not die, but also you shall not cut off your
Cut
kindness.
off my seed. That's what. And didn't David remember the seed when Ishbosheth? Remember that? Remember when Saul was being taken out and everything, and the Philistines were coming, and his son was crippled, or the nurse took him, and he fell and he became crippled? Did not David say, "You're going to eat at my table for the sake of your father, Jonathan? Because I loved him as I loved my own soul." We must do this, Israel. We must establish love, true love, between the brotherhood of Israel. I'm not talking about fake love. I'm not talking about trying to appear that you love somebody. You have to show it. And you can only show love in action. You understand what I'm saying? Tom Shikha. It goes on and it says,
But also you shall not cut off your kindness from my house forever.
Amen.
No, not when the Most High has cut off the enemies of David, anyone.
Can you imagine? Here's Jonathan talking about, don't even worry about whether or not I'm here or whether or not I'm there. Guess what? Let the Most High make this covenant between you and I. Remember my seed, and I know that the Most High is going to do what? Cut off the enemies of David from the face of the earth.
So Jonathan made a covenant with the house of David, saying, the Most High will require it at the hand of David's enemies.
That's right.
Jonathan caused David.
Now wait a minute. Let's understand this covenant. You said what? It's going to be required by who? It's going to be required by the hands of David's enemies. This is how this covenant is going to be established. Tom sheep.
And Jonathan caused David to swear again for the love that he had for him, for he loved him as he loved his own soul. And then Jonathan said to him, tomorrow the new moon, and you will be missed, because your seat will be empty. And when you have stayed 3 days, you shall go down quickly and come to the place where you did hide yourself when the business was in hand, and shall remain by the stone of Ezel. And I shall shoot 3 arrows on the side of it, as though I shot at a mark. Behold, I will send the boy, saying, go find the arrows. If I tell the boy, behold, the arrows are on the side of you, take them and come. For there is shalom to you, and no hurt, as the Most High lives. But if I say thus to the boy, behold, the arrows are beyond you, and go away, for the Most High has sent you away. As touching the matter which you and I have spoken of, behold, for Yah is between you and me forever. So David hid himself in the field, and when he saw the new moon to come, and the king sat at him down to eat the food, and the king sat at his seat, as the other time, even in the seat by the wall, and Jonathan stood up, and Abner sat by Shaul's side, but David's place was empty. Nevertheless, Shaul didn't say anything that day.
So this goes to show us some sort of arrangement at the king's table. You have David on the right, you have Abner on the left, and the king is sitting there, and the prince is standing up at this new moon meal. Because the new moon was what? A great day in Israel. And just like you and I, as we came up observing the new moon, and saying it was a time that we marked in our lives, that the Most High renews the lives of the sons and the daughters of Israel. Every Yom Chodesh, every new moon, every Chodesh HaChadash. Tamshi.
For he thought, something has happened to him.
He said, surely he is unclean, because if he was unclean, he should not be coming where? To the king's table, right? Well, isn't this culture, isn't this tradition, isn't this what you and I need to be doing in this day and time? If you're unclean, stay home. And you're clean, come on out. Sound sheep.
Sure, something has happened. He is not clean. Surely he is not clean. It happened on the next day after the new moon, which was on the second day, But David's place was empty, and Shaul said to Jonathan his son, "Why doesn't the son of Yeshai come to me? Neither yesterday nor today." Jonathan answered Shaul, "David earnestly asked leave of me to go to Bethlehem, and he said, 'Please let me go, for our family has a sacrifice in the city, and my brother, he has commanded me to be there. And now, if I have found favor in your eyes, let me get away. I pray you, and see my brothers. Therefore, he has not come to the king's table.'" And then Shaul's anger was kindled against Jonathan, and he said to him, "This is
a terrible curse that they puts on Jonathan here. And the whole thing is that he's seeing that Jonathan is doing what? Is standing up for David. That's the whole thing. And Saul does not like that. And he's saying that you're putting your own kingdom, your own next in lineship, you're putting that in jeopardy. By you talking about this guy David all the time. And by you glorifying him in the sight of the king. Why would you do that? Don't you know that puts your ascendancy, in danger?
"You son of a perverse, rebellious woman. Don't I know
Now
that?"
he's talking about his wife, a perverse, rebellious woman. This is Saul talking about his wife, who is Jonathan's mother. What's wrong with this guy? What's wrong with him is that he's jealous. And that's what jealousy will do to you. It will take you out. It will cause you to say things that you shouldn't even be saying. It will cause your whole mindset to change. And you become somebody else, a raving idiot. Beware of jealousy. We know in the law, what does the Most High said? If a man feels that his wife is going astray and the spirit of jealousy come upon him, there's no turning that back. There's no turning that back. The man is crazy. And it's supposed his wife didn't do anything. But she still has to go through that particular situation. Jealousy is a terrible thing. We need to avoid it at all costs. When it first shows its ugly head, right away subdue it. Think logically, and you'll be all right. Young men and men of Israel. Tom Sheik, it goes on and it says,
"Don't I know that you have chosen the son of Yeshai to your own shame, and to the shame of your mother's nakedness? For as long as the son of Yeshai lives on the earth, you shall not be established, nor your kingdom. Therefore now send and bring him to me, and he shall surely die." And Jonathan answered Shaul his father, and said to him, "Why should he be put to death? And what has he done?" And Shaul cast his spear at him and strike him. By this Jonathan knew that his father was determined.
Oh man, because I'm telling you about Saul's spear, it don't miss. It just happened to miss that time because Jonathan probably did something like that. You understand? But Saul, he was a terrible warrior. And his spear, it didn't miss. That was the spear that snagged Abimelech, the priest that was at Nob. Tom Sheik.
So Jonathan arose from the table in fierce anger, and ate no food the second day of the month. For he had grieved for David, because his father had done him shame. It happened in the morning that Jonathan went out into the field at the time appointed with David, and a little boy with him. And he said to the boy, "Run, find now the arrows which I shoot." As the boy ran, he shot the arrow beyond him. As the boy was come to the place which Jonathan had shot, Jonathan cried after the boy and said, "Isn't the arrow beyond you?"
Amen.
Jonathan cried after the boy, "Go fast, hurry, don't delay." Jonathan's boy gathered up the arrows and came to his master. But the boy didn't know anything. Only Jonathan and David knew the matter. And Jonathan gave his weapons to his boy. And he said to him, "Go, carry him to the city." And as soon as the boy was gone, David arose out of the place toward the south and fell on his face to the ground and bowed himself 3 times.
Amen. Because guess what? This man is saving my life. This is my friend who is saving my life. By these words, by these deeds, these things that he's doing. We already know that guess what? It's time for me to leave. Time for me to leave. Not only is it time for me to leave, but I have to leave my friend. Come see.
And bowed himself 3 times, and they kissed one another and wept with one another until David exceeded. Jonathan said to David, "Go in shalom, because we have sworn both of us in the name of the Most High, saying, the Most High shall be between me and you, and between my seed and your seed forever." He arose and departed, and Jonathan went into the city.
Amen. Let's stop right there. So what is the reason for this? The reason for this is my journey here today, which is a wonderful journey. I love to see everybody here. All praises unto y'all. Y'all looking good. All praises. And I'm so glad of that. Brotherhood is why I came. I think it's time that we should not be separated.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's time that we should be together under whatever auspices that we devise. One thing I do know that we should not be in two separate houses. We should be under one roof. We should be under one understanding. We should be under one law. That's what we should be.
Amen.
I would hope and pray that we can do that. And as I don't now see myself speak this evening, I hope we can come to some sort of agreement where we won't be seeing each other intimately. We'll be seeing each other on a regular basis.
Hallelujah.
Giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yah, our power.
Yeah.
Hallelujah!
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hey, want me to see it briefly? We're gonna go into our lesson real quick for the day. We close out. I thank our elder for his words, and I want to thank all our elders for appearing. And we pray that those who didn't make it out, the families who didn't make it out to school, we pray that everything's okay. His words are definitely needed. You know, you always should have a community with that hear from your elders. The elders should have the ability to speak when they have word. Because without that word, you subject them into a life of decay. Imagine an elder that can't speak. They can't talk his words. That's gone. They're the watchmen. They're the watchmen on the gate. They got to speak their words. They got to see what we go through as a people and individual. And he said some positive stuff. And even when we think about it, you know, we talk about the unclean laws. We got a little debate here. King David, Saul thought he didn't even show up because he was unclean. So they didn't even show up to royal dinners, let alone the Most High Sabbath when he was unclean. Don't start, we can't start making new Israelite stuff.
Pseudo.
Yeah, we can't do that. They treat uncleanliness as a separation. And there's nothing wrong with it. Spend some time with yourself. The problem is with humans, you always want to rely on somebody else or something else. Sometimes spend time with yourself. And as the elders speak, I always been open for unity. And like you said, we'll talk at break. And hopefully we come out with something positive. And I think our elders that's here today, Elder Yosef also for being here, being strong. Yah is beautiful.
Yeah.
Things happen. You know, and we grow, but we grow, sometimes when you're apart, you grow to understand and appreciate each other. And that's an appreciation that we need to understand. We can't become bitter and bickering. We offer unity. This movement to the land is about unity.
That's right.
That's what it's about. We're trying to get all the people we can. In the name of our God, in the name of the forefathers that sacrificed their life. When the Israelites were most successful, when Prophet Crowdy had thousands of acres. But we lost all that. So we thank God for the ability to give us strength and understand who we are. We thank Him for hearing from our elders today. And I appreciate Him. And truly told, we didn't anticipate this. When you first communicated with me, we've been waiting. We have a lot to offer as a group, a congregation. We've been here for almost a year and a half. Our payments have always been on time. A lot of structure has been put into place. There's a lot of good things going with what we're doing, you know. May not be a lot of people here today, but it happens some days, you know. But we thank the Almighty for allowing you to definitely bless our presence. And you too, Imanawa, and my sister, and the Dome Elder Seth TORAH. You know, while Isha told me who he was as soon as he pulled up, and I was like, for real? Okay, cool. And I went, like, how you know me? You know, I have no secret. You know, but may the Most High bless us, and we enjoyed our time here. And today we're on break. We're going to enjoy ourselves, and it's our last day here. Yeah. But we're moving on to bigger and better things.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes a building is good, but now we're taking on the world.
That's right.
We're taking over.
We're taking over. We're going to go into Sparta, and we're going to be the Hebrew Israelites. Our house is going to be on point. We're going to regulate. And guess what? We're going to have rules and regulations that you got to listen to.
That's right.
King.
And you're going to have to listen to your brother. You know what I mean? And your brother's name ain't Google. But what he says still holds weight. We're going to be strict. We are. That's the only way you can function with Israelites today. You got to be strict. Disciplined. You have to be disciplined. There's no coming when you want to, when you choose to. That's not discipline. The Lord said you should have a holy convocation. He wasn't talking about just you and your little family. You know, your wife in the seats and your son in Rita. You know, he's talking about experience, especially when we are apart from each other all during the week. We definitely need to make this holy convocation. Because I love it when I come here and get some words of wisdom. And I feel good. And I'm about to coming up with some knowledge now. And that's a special brother, a general amongst us, a warrior, that the Almighty has blessed us to be in our presence. And he's been with me for a long time. And I feel special, you know what I'm saying, just to be a part of his family. And I love him. And I like all the brothers. Like we said, love is real love. This is real love. Sometimes it crosses the path of bloodlines. It don't always have to be blood. Mm-hmm. You know, my brother Sarah, I love him to death. I love his family to death. This is beautiful. But this is what we created. We all created this. We created an environment where all this stuff can happen. And the lesson the brother's about to put on is about us listening to ourselves. And how important it is for us to govern ourselves. I'll be damned if we go backwards from all the hard work Cohen Levy and Cohen Mikael and all those before us, Maury Elazar put in. All the beautiful culture to go back to something so Eurocentric. Mm-hmm. We can't go backwards, and we're not going backwards. My children are not going to come up in here in an oppressive suit and tie. They'll come in with cultural garbs that look glorious, and every time you'll be able to identify them with their long flowing garments. And we are on the path to doing something great. And next week we will be in probably, what's the park by Hurt Park? Anybody know? The park by Hurt Park, the main park on P Street.
Oh, that's the Woodrow.
Woodrow. We'll probably be at Woodrow. If not, we'll be at Hurt Park next week at 4 o'clock. And we're going to carry them. Huh? Next Shabbat, we'll be out there at 4 p.m. We'll be teaching, closing out the Sabbath, and enjoy the city after we're done. But we're going to go out there and get the world the message. There's so many people that's homeless that need this word. They need the message. And we're going to go out there and we're going to recruit and make them feel like that, because they are somebody. You know what? Some of them in better positions than we are. I had to argue with this homeless man. I began to ask, how much you spend on drugs? Oh man, I don't do drugs. I said, brother, I see you picking up rocks off the floor. That means you're looking for crack, bro. So don't lie to me. Tell me the truth. I said, that ain't gonna stop me from giving you money. So tell me the truth. He said, but you don't understand. We look at you driving in your fancy cars, going home to a house. I said, brother, that ain't the question. How much do you spend on drugs a day? About $100. I said, dang, bro, you live in lavish. I said, because we don't, I said, that means you make about $3,000 a month, bro. And I'm not saying I'm better or anything. What I'm saying is you looking at who you are in the wrong perspective. You are blessed. You don't have all the restrictions. And yes, you have an addiction, but you are free. Most of us are slaves to this society. Just slaves. They're trying to keep up with the Joneses. You don't need all of that stuff. But they're free. Let's talk to our people. They need us. We out there hugging them and showing them, hey, I don't care what you smell like, brother. Give me a hug. Come on now. Let's show love to these people. And let's go out there and teach these people. Show them God. They're going to be the biggest support you have. Because I've been homeless before. I've been homeless. Me and my Isha have been homeless before. Bouncing from hotel to hotel in the rain with babies, all of this. So I know. Don't tell me I know. I reached rock bottom. But I have peace of mind. And there's something that's just so humbling about it. So right now we're going to call up our brother, the Big Fork, the Potter Shop. Today, our brother, Hagib Board, Shemuel, hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
a good week this week?
Hallelujah.
Awesome. Awesome. You know, it was an honor for me to sit there and listen to the elder. And I actually wrote down some words that he said in some terms. He says, love, friendship, brotherhood. Then he stated one law. And I don't know if that resonated with everybody, because what we're getting into now, the parashah, which is what now?
Shoftim.
Judges. This is very important, because we're talking about being in a situation to where I don't have to worry about what's behind my back. I don't have to worry about the person to my right stabbing me, or the person behind me stabbing me, or the person to the side stealing from me. I'm with my brothers. I'm with my sisters. I'm with my friends. I'm with love. I'm with my family. And I think that's very important, especially once we talk about this one law. I think Israel right now is suffering so much because we go out one day, we look on the street corner, we hear brothers yelling, screaming, talking about one thing. People come to another place, they talking about another thing. They come to another spot, they talk about another thing. So for the person who's trying to get themselves involved in this way of life, they're confused. And I know for me personally, coming in from GOCC, I'm coming in from this way of thinking and ideology and philosophy, giving another man credence when I should be giving it to the Creator.
Yeah.
We have all these different ideologies and philosophies that we sit back and we argue on. I can't hang with you because you don't agree with what I agree with. I'm not cool with you because you don't agree with the midrash that I agree with. Your interpretation is different than mine. But we have one law. We have one law. And that one universal law, if we adhere to it, we'll be all right. Let's begin. First slide. Okay. Noahide laws. Noahide laws. Anybody know the Noahide laws?
Okay.
All right.
Everybody knows.
All right. So if Sarah, can you go ahead and read those for me, please, if you don't mind?
The 7 Noahide laws: belief in God, do not worship idols.
Right.
Respect God and praise Him. Do
Right.
not blaspheme His name. Respect human life. Do not murder.
Okay.
Respect the family. Do not commit immoral sexual acts. Respect the other's rights and property. Do not steal.
Right.
Create a judicial system. Pursue justice. And respect all creatures. Do not eat the flesh of an animal that is still alive. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Okay, so where do we live now?
America.
America, right? The wonderful United States of America. Okay, let's go to the next slide. For those of us that believe that American law is greater than Israel, you're sadly mistaken. Every bit of this foundation in this country came from us. What does this say?
It says, no nation has been more profoundly influenced by the Old Testament, or Tanakh, than America. Many of America's early statements and educators were schooled in Hebraic civilization. The second president of the United States, John Adams, a Harvard graduate, had this to say of the Jewish people, John Adams: the Jews have done more to civilize men than any other nation.
Than what?
Than any other nation.
Okay.
They are the most glorious nation that ever inhabited the earth. The Romans and their empire were but a bauble in comparison to the Jews. They have given religion to 3/4 of the globe and have influenced the affairs of mankind more and more happily than any other nation, ancient or modern.
So, unfortunately here, we understand that John Adams, much like George Washington, they pushed us out, okay, of the history, which was actually ours. He's talking about us, but he's not going to give us this credit, okay? Go to the next slide.
The 15 capital laws of New England included the 7 Noahide laws of the Torah.
So the capital laws of New England included the Noahide laws. We were incorporated in the creation or in the foundation of this nation. Continue.
Or what may be termed as the 7 universal laws of morality. 6 prohibited idolatry, blasphemy, murder, robbery, adultery, and eating flesh from a living animal, while the 7th requires the establishment of courts and justice. Such courts are obviously essential to any society based on the primacy of reason or persuasion rather than passion or intimidation.
Okay, let's go to the next slide.
Okay. Now without minimizing the influence of such philosophers as Locke and Montesquieu on the framers of the American Constitution, America may rightly be deemed for the first and only nation that was explicitly founded on the 7 Noahide laws of the Torah. Indeed, the legislation of the several states comprising of the federal union embody these laws, including the prohibition against blasphemy and adultery. Well, into the 19th century, it should be also noted that the constitutions of 11 of the original 13 states made provisions for religious education. Education. Some even have religious qualifications for office.
Now, so that we understand, adultery is still on the books in New England.
That's right.
Okay? This is still on the books. This is something you still can be punished by today. But do they enforce it? Absolutely not. But we're going to get into that in a second. Continue.
Go back.
All right. Strange as it may seem, the 7 Noahide laws were explicitly incorporated in Public Law 102-14, which establishes March 26, 1991 as Education Day. That presumably saves this congressional joint resolution from violating the First Amendment is its silence about the Hebraic origin of the Noahide Code. Here I must digress for a moment and say a word about the First Amendment.
Let's go to the next slide. This is very important.
The First Amendment states that Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion. This clause is now misunderstood. It was misunderstood. It was intended not to prevent Congress from enacting laws supportive of religion, but to prohibit Congress from establishing a state or nation religion. National religion. In his farewell address, President George Washington declared, he states, of all the dispositions and habits which lead to political prosperity, religion and morality are indispensable supports. Whatever may be conceded to the influence of refined education on minds of particular structure, reason and experience both forbid us to expect that national morality can prevail in the exclusion of religious principle. Incidentally, the theme of Washington's farewell address is national unity. National unity, he beloved, requires national morality and precondition, of which is religion. Religion and morality counter man's natural inclination to self-indulgence and his tendency to be preoccupied with the immediate gratification of his own desires. Religion and morality foster self-restraint and consideration of others, far more than secular humanism. Religion inspires men with reverence, difference of wisdom, with concern for prosperity. But these ideals are Jewish ideas rooted in the 7 Noahide laws.
Okay, so check this out. This is very interesting. Go to the next slide for me. Even George Washington knew that unity under a spiritual governing body, or go back, please, or a spiritual foundation was important. Okay, but like I said earlier, what he was doing was he excluded us and gave credence to his own people for basically discovering this whole ideology and philosophy. Okay, but this was our people. These were our customs. We gave this to them, but we're slaves in the land and we don't even know our own history. We don't even realize that this nation the Constitution of this nation was founded on our principles that were given to us by the Heavenly Father. Continue. Next read. Yes. And this is the last one. And we get to the last.
Okay. Much the same may be said of King's College, later Columbia University, William and Mary Rutgers, Princeton, Dartmouth,
and Brown University. Hebrew learning was then deemed a basic element of liberal education. Samuel Johnson, first president of King's College in 1754 to 1763, expressed the intellectual attitudes of his age when he referred to Hebrew as essential to a gentleman's education.
Okay, so even in 1754 and 1763, it was essential to a gentleman's education to learn what? Language that we should be knowing right now. It was imperative to them in 1754 and 1763 that they know Hebrew. But yet they cut us off from our language. Continue reading.
This attitude was not merely academic. On May 31st, 1775, almost on the eve of the American Revolution, Harvard President Samuel Langdon, addressing the Congress of Massachusetts Bay, declared, Harvard's President Samuel Langdon, he says, every nation has the right to set up over itself any form of government which to it may appear most conducive to its common welfare. The civil polity of Israel is doubtless an excellent general model. The higher law doctrine of the Declaration of Independence is rooted in the Torah.
Stop. That's all I need. That's the last part. That's the last part. And the rest is self-evident. That's very important. And I think it's important because I don't know if everyone's been familiar or been paying attention to the Jim Brown and Colin Kaepernick and all this other stuff going on. But Jim Brown comes out and he makes an interesting statement. I say interesting, but it's almost disgusting. He says that basically you cannot separate yourself from his American flag and his national anthem. Now, this is a civil rights leader now. But you cannot separate yourself from the national anthem and the American flag. And see, my problem with that is you're trying to preach liberation, but you're preaching liberation through integration. You can't have true liberation without separation. You cannot have true liberation without separation. That is why what's taking place in our communities in our position right now is so important. I think the Most High allowed this parashat that was leading up to today to be about the Exodus, leaving and us separating from our slave masters and separating from our captors, and the Most High giving us something new to start over. And this is very important. Let's go to the next slide. Defend the land. Defend the land. Let's get ready to read. Go to the next slide. Justice, justice shall you pursue. Justice, justice shall you pursue. Let's go. Let's read the first one.
All right. We are in the Parashot Shoftim, which can be found in Devarim chapter 16 and verse 18. Let us all say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And you shall set up judges and law enforcement officials for yourself in all your cities that the Most High your power is giving you for your tribes, and you shall judge the people with righteous judgment. You shall not prevent justice. And you shall not pervert justice. You shall not show favoritism. You shall not take a bribe, for bribery blinds the eye of the wise and perverts just words. Justice, justice shall you pursue, that you may live and possess the land that the Most High your power is giving you.
So the Most High doesn't mind if you bribe a judge official to get your homeboy off. He doesn't mind that, does he? He has a problem with that? Okay, so the Most High doesn't mind if you bribe a judge to deny this sister her rights, or deny this sister some sort of money or financial stipulation after she happens to separate from her husband. The Most High doesn't mind you bribing somebody to help you out on that, does it? He got a problem with that, doesn't he? Okay, so as the Most High instructs us here to do is establish judges. Set up your own law enforcement. Set up your own councils. Stop going to these slave masters and stop going to these white folks to mediate your problems. Only way we can get away from that is through what? Community. Once we establish our own what? Laws, right? We establish our own codes based on the Torah. Can we escape these shackles? Can we escape this plague that has infected Israel? Continue.
You shall not plant yourself in Asherah.
Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. All right, forbidden forms of worship. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 21, you shall not plant yourself in a sharab or any tree near the altar of the Most High your power, which shall make for yourself. And you shall not set up for yourself a monument which the Most High the Most High your power hates. You shall not sacrifice to the Most High your power an ox or a sheep that has a blemish or any bad thing, for that is an abomination to Jehovah.
Okay, does anyone know what the Eshrah is?
Tree.
Okay. All right, continue.
If they will be found among you within one of your cities, which the Most High your power is giving you, a man or woman who does evil in the eyes of the Most High your power to transgress his covenant, and who will go and worship the other gods and prostrate himself before them, or to the sun, to the moon, or any host of the heavens which I have not commanded, and it will be told to you, and you will hear it, and investigate thoroughly, and behold, the matters coincide with this abomination has been perpetrated in Israel. Then you shall bring out the man or that woman who has committed this evil thing to your cities, the man or woman, and you shall pelt them with stones, and they shall die.
Okay, so this is only for that time, though, correct? So you should be able to go out. We should be able to accept worshiping other gods and doing other things and disrespecting the temple and this stuff. We can't regulate that stuff today, can we?
There is a way to be able to do it.
There's a way to be able to do it. There's absolutely a way to be able to do it. But if I can die in this time, if I can lose my life in this time for standing up for the Creator, I should be able to stand up for the Creator in other ways also, shouldn't I? Shouldn't I? We got brothers that'll kill you today for their sneakers, won't they? We got brothers that'll shoot you right now for dissing them online, won't they? We got brothers right now that'll show up and you say, what's the word they say? Pull up on them. Don't they say that? That's what y'all say in school, pull up. What's the pull-up girl that got her online? See her pull up? I'm ready right now. What's the girl?
Meet me outside.
Meet me outside. The meet me outside girl. Right? How about that? Right? For small, simple stuff, you can lose your life in today's time, can't you? But why can't we step up like that for the Creator? So we're going to say why? Because we face judgment from their laws? Who do I fear? The Heavenly Father. So if I can't stand up for my Creator in today's time, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? See, we operate in an environment of fear. See, it sounds good when you got Israelite brothers and preachers standing on the corner coming up talking to you and everybody's saying, yeah, we're going to do this for Israel. We're going to do this for Israel. But there goes a problem over there presenting itself to Israel. Well, who's going to step up? Who's going to step up? I will. I will. I'll lose my life for the Creator, and I'll take one for him too. If it means that. If it means that. We have to have a zeal and a zest for the Most High. The times have changed, but the spirit of the enemy is still the same. His philosophy has not changed. His technology may have, but his purpose has not changed. Let's continue. Next slide. Continue.
All right. It says, by the mouth of two witnesses or three witnesses shall the one liable to death be put to death. He shall not be put to death by the mouth of one witness. The hand of the witness shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. You shall abolish evil from among you.
Okay, so in one scripture says, so you shall purge the evil from your midst. Now they took that and made it a heck of a movie, didn't they? They called it the cleansing of America, right? We purge our systems of all the wickedness, all the idolatry that takes place throughout the year. So at the end of the year, they get to do what? They get to purge and get rid of all of these other things that they don't tolerate in society. Now look at this here. Christianity, is that accepted? Absolutely not. Look at this, mother to son. A lot of people don't even know where that comes from. Look at that, that's disgusting. Come on, let's go to the next slide. Buddhism, is it accepted? No, it's not accepted. Oh yeah, in this country it is, but where we going is not. Okay, continue, next slide. Hinduism, look at this. Is this accepted? Absolutely not. Next slide. Early deities. People are still going back worshiping these early deities. If you don't believe that these elitists aren't part of this celebration to their early gods, their snake goddesses and their snake gods, you're sadly mistaken. Next slide. That guy. This is the biggest crippling crutch. This is worse than HIV in the black community. This dude right here is worse than HIV in the black community. He's taking souls. Not destroying the flesh, he's taking souls. Killing your life force. Killing your energy. 2,000 years we've been waiting on this dude. Now, I'm a first generation, a recognized first generation Israelite. I can't say my mom and father weren't Israelites. They just didn't know who they were. Okay? They just didn't, they hadn't awoken yet. All right? Thankful to the Father that I'm able to be awoken in this time. But my family was plagued by this dude. My mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, and my great-great-great-grandmother was plagued waiting on this guy to come back and liberate and save them. Time for a change. Time for something new. Time for something new. Let's go to the next slide. Exactly, Elder. Time for truth. Okay? Let's go to the next part. No, you go back. Legal decisions by priests and judges.
If a matter eludes you in judgment, between blood and blood, between judgment and judgment, or between legion and legion, words of dispute in your cities, then you shall arise and go to the place the Most High your power chooses. And you shall come to the Levitical Kohanim and to the judges, who will be in those days, and you shall inquire, and they will tell you the words of judgment. And you shall do according to the word they tell you, from the place of the Most High will choose for you to observe, to do according to all they instruct you, or according to the law they instruct you, and according to the judgment they say to you, you shall do. And you shall not divert from the word that they tell you, either right or left. And the man who acts intentionally, not obeying the Kohen, who stands there to serve the Most High your power, or to the judge, that man shall die. And you shall abolish evil from Israel.
You should what?
Abolish evil from Israel.
So, as the elder spoke earlier, the Most High doesn't like punks. So we can't stand in the midst of one another and we cast judgment. Now this brother doesn't want to follow suit. What do we have to do? We got to get these brothers out of here. We're infected right now in Israel. We're infected by weakness, idolatry, and we're passing it on. This is one of those contagious diseases. And laziness. We got a whole lot of talking, not enough doing. But we doing something different over here. Continue.
And all the people shall listen and fear, and they shall no longer act one only. When you come to the land,
let's go to the next slide. Look at that. It's the Pope. This is who America. It's one of America's friends. This is one of the popes, one of these high Catholic priests. America loves these people, don't they? Let's go to the next one. Who is it? Yeah, Carmen. I'm sorry. Carmen. Now, who's that? Clarence who? Clarence Thomas. He's really not that color, I promise you. He's suffering from revitiligo. Okay, he's really not that color. Yeah. All right, let's go to the next slide. Now, if we had our own community, we had our own laws. Look at this, child support hearing. Okay, you have a matter or an issue that you need dealt with. In today's time, we got to go sit before the white man. Now, the white man, what does he say? As soon as he gets you in there, what does he do? He doesn't care who's at fault. He doesn't care what goes on. The man is always to blame. Always. Guess what? He doesn't care if your wife is making 2 to 3 times the amount of money that you're making. He doesn't care if you've been out of work for a year. You owe that money. But they don't care about the money going to the child. They got to take theirs off the top. You got to pay the system. So I got to pay the system for you to listen to my problem and regulate my household with your prejudiceness. Something's wrong with that. Go to the next slide. Once those child support checks start coming in, I can live off of you until you're 18. This is how some of these wicked women think. So guess what? They get with you, young brother. I want y'all to listen to me. Listen to me. I'm coming from the world. Y'all haven't seen that world. I'm coming from a world where I was promiscuous, I was fast, I was loose, I had every woman I could ever desire. Had money, did everything I wanted to do. Got women pregnant, didn't care. Had abortions, didn't care. And I had to face women like this. I had to sit before the judge. Had to listen to this white man tell me how much of a scumbag I was. When this woman was actually plotting on me. But my father told me, son, stay out these girls and focus on your career and your books. But I didn't pay attention to my father. What commandment is that? It's from Exodus 20. It's something. It's something. What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? Ari, give it to me. What is it? Huh? No. Honor what? So, is that necessarily referring to the Most High killing you for not listening? Could be. Could be. Absolutely. But what else is it telling you? My father and my mother gave me wise words, wisdom. I didn't pay attention and I suffered from it. Warrants in and out of jail for child support. And children I was taking care of, but I wasn't paying this stupid judge. Come on now. But in the community, I got somebody who knows me. I got somebody I know. I got somebody who's going to proceed over my case with fairness. If I'm wrong, my brother's going to tell me, Sam, you're wrong. And I can't say nothing about it. I'm okay with it. Because I know that my brother is spiritually inclined and my brother's ruling over me with the Most High in his mind. Continue to the next slide. Certificate of marriage. This is important, isn't it? So we go up to the Baptist church, and the preacher stands before you and says, dearly beloved, we have gathered here today, blah, 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 and may Jesus bless this marriage and keep you all safe, and yada, yada, and blase, blase. I don't want no marriage like that. I don't want Jesus presiding over my nuptials. I love that. It's old school word. I like it. Nuptials. I don't want Jesus over that. Go to the next slide. Look at that. That's beautiful, right? That's beautiful. See, in our community, we'll have plenty of that, right? Black love, right? Beautiful. Go on to the next thing. Uh-oh. What's that? Is that what's going on nowadays? Now, I brought this out because I want you to see this. This is what they're allowing to happen in Africa right now. They've allowed this to happen in Africa right now. And I know this is touchy, but we get touchy here. We don't pull no punches. Ain't no sugarcoat this, Shomrey. This is what's going on. This is what's plaguing our people right here. On to the next one. Marital settlements and agreements. This is important. Stuff to go on between our husband and wife, right? Stuff to go on in case of divorce, in case of death. This is very important. On to the next slide. So alimony, spousal support, refers to the obligation of an individual to provide their spouse with financial support after separation or divorce. This is important. You need people to preside over this that have everybody's best interest in heart. But not only are they ruling over you with sound mind and body and spirit, but they're leading by example through following the Creator, the laws given by the Creator. Nobody's ruling over us in a community like this with our own laws, our own statutes, with their own personal agenda. On to the next slide. Inheritance. What happens when you die? This stuff is important. Would you rather have a community that, as Nazi brought up earlier, if something happens to one of us or one of the adults, we know where the land's going. It's going back to the community. Or back to my next child, my oldest child. Next. Money. Where's the money going? That's important. Next slide. Last will and testament. All this stuff is important. Next slide. Breaking the law. What happens in the community? People are breaking the law. How do we handle this? We have to have judges. We have to have people to police this community. Okay? If you're in the community and I see Brother Jackson with a pork sandwich. Brother Jackson, what you got pork in the community for? What's going on? Or you're not upholding the Sabbath. He's out there playing and partying on the Sabbath. He got women all at his house and all kind of fools. What's going on? That's not going to happen. But if it does happen, we have penalties for it. You have to be punished. You have to be punished. And punishment does not, nobody is excluded from punishment. If you disrespect the Creator, nobody is excluded from punishment. On to the next slide. Prison? Yeah, right, we're going to have our own prisons. You're absolutely right. You get out of line, you got to spend time in the hole. You got to spend time in the jail. You're right. But I'm not going to send my brother out there into the world's jail. I'm going to send you someplace where we can keep an eye on you and make sure that when you get out, you're going to be perfect. You're going to be greater than what you were when you went in. On to the next slide. Exile. This is important. Because if you continue, if you're a habitual line stepper, you got to go, brother. We have no place in the community for you. Next slide. We'll talk about that after off the camera. On to the next slide. Laws concerning Israel's kings.
There you go. And when you come to the land of the Most High, your power is given you. You possess it and live therein. You said, I will set a king over myself, like the nations around me. You shall set a king over you, one whom the Most High your power chooses from among your brothers. You shall set a king over yourself. You shall not appoint a foreigner over yourself, one who is not your brother. Only he may not acquire many horses for himself, so that he will not bring the people back to Egypt in order to acquire many horses, that the Most High said to you, you shall not return the way anymore. And he shall not take many.
Stop right there, real quick. So return to Egypt. Egypt means what? Bondage. So when we go into the community, should we be going back out to live amongst the world? Should that be our objective? No. We understand we may have to work out there. We understand that we may have to trade with some of these people. We may have to cut their hair. I may have to teach them kickboxing, okay? Whatever the case. We may have to do some security work for them, bodyguard, because they need our services. We bring it back to the community. We're not going out there to live and go back and function under their rule and under their laws, statutes, and commandments. We're not doing that. That's backtracking. And we're not about backtracking. We're about progress. Continue.
And he shall not take many wives for himself, and his heart must not turn away, and he shall not acquire much silver or gold for himself. And it will be when he sits upon his throne, and he shall write for himself 2 copies of this Torah on the scroll from what the Torah which is before the Levitical Hanim. And it shall be with him, and he shall read it, and he shall read it all the days of his life, so that he may learn to fear Yah, his power, to keep all the words of this Torah and these statutes, and to perform them, so that his heart will not be haughty over his brothers, so that he will not turn away from the commandment, either to the right or to the left, in order that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, and he and his sons among Israel.
Hallelujah. Okay, so having a leader who constantly is in Torah is important. Our elder just spoke on this. You have to be in Torah. You cannot be a leader out here going willy-nilly and doing exactly whatever it is you want to do. On to the next slide. Now this is your United States of America. Read that for me, please. You can.
Section 1 of Article 2 of the United States Constitution sets forth the eligibility requirements for serving the President of the United States. Under Clause 5 emphasizes added, no person except a natural-born citizen or a citizen of the United States at the time of the adoption of this Constitution shall be eligible to the office of President. Neither shall any person be eligible to the office who shall not have attained to the age of 35 years and have been 14 years a resident within the United States.
Okay, this is America views it, right? So we already established the fact that America, from us, they've actually used the Noahide laws to establish their foundation, and that's okay. And We realize in Israel the same thing. If you're not natural born of Israel, you can't be a king. Okay, but this is very interesting. This is from the Mishnah Torah. All right, and I'm going to read this here, and I just want to touch on it real quickly. I'm not going to be long on it. A king should not be appointed from converts to Judaism. This applies even if the convert's ancestors had been Jewish for many generations, unless his mother or father is a native-born Israelite. As of Deuteronomy 17 and 15 states, you may not appoint a foreigner who is not one of your brethren. This does not apply to the monarchy alone, but to all positions of authority within Israel. A convert may not serve as an army commander, a leader of 50, or as a leader of 10. He may not even supervise the allocation of water from a stream to various fields. Needless to say, a judge or a Nasi should only be a native-born Israelite, as it is stated, appoint a king over you from among your brethren. This implies that all appointments must only be from your brethren. You can't even watch water if you're not part of us. You can't even rule over the water by the stream if you're not part of us. So what's that saying? We can't start going out here to other denominations or Judaism or whatever else, going out to the white man. Say, hey, look, guys, we got a new friend. We got a new party member that wants to come and be down in the community. He has all this experience. He wants to be a leader. Yay. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay? All right, next slide. All right, I see you want to read.
All right, Deuteronomy 18 and 1. The Levitical Hanim, the entire.
Hold on a second, I'm sorry. Next slide. Let's go to the moment of practice. Moment of practice. That's
It's not. It's not.
18.
Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 9. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And when you have come to the land that the Most High your power has given you, you shall not learn to do like the abominations of those nations. There shall not be found among you anyone who passes his son or daughter through fire, a soothsayer, a diviner of auspicious times, one who interprets omens or sorcerer, or a charmer or a pithom sorcerer, or a yido sorcerer, or a necromancer. For whoever does these things is an abomination.
Anybody know what a necromancer is?
Oh, that's the one that used the water bowl? What's that?
Conjure the dead.
Okay. For whoever does these things is an abomination to Jehovah. And because these abominations, the Most High, your power, is driving them out from before you. Be wholehearted with the Most High, your power. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Next slide. There you go. This necromancy right there. Kids are actually practicing this. And you have to be mindful of our children watching these stupid shows on Disney and Cartoon Network. We have to be careful because a lot of these sayings that these people are chanting on these shows, we don't know what they mean. Got our kids out here talking all kinds of spirits. Okay? Next slide. Sorcery, witchcraft. Next slide. Here we go. People going to get their fortune told. Okay? They believe in these people who are scrying or looking in these glass crystal balls for their future. Exactly. On to the next slide. Okay? Now, in our community, can we allow this parental advisory stuff in here? On to the next slide. For all you Israelite brothers who used to be dancers out here, y'all can't come in here doing all this foolishness. Okay? I don't know if y'all have ever seen this. This is from Saturday Night Live with Chris Farley way back in the day. We don't tolerate that. We can't have you out here being a male stripper thinking you coming in to be a leader in Israel. It's not going to happen. Next slide. Smoking crack. Can we have that in the community? Absolutely not. But what does that say? If you have a drug addiction and you're coming to us for help, we ain't going to turn you away. Right? But if you are actually a part of us and you got a problem and you sit up in your house on Friday night smoking rocks, You coming to the Shabbat high as a kite. And we got a problem with that. We got a problem. Next slide. Drug dealing. Drug dealing. Are you allowed to do that in Israel? No. But if you used to be a drug dealer and you come in here for salvation and looking for a new home and you willing to follow our law, statute, commandments as written, will we accept you? Absolutely. Next slide. Pimps. Pimping. Well, we got a lot of leaders amongst Israel, right? They used to be pimps back in the day, don't they? I've seen a couple here since I've been around. Hey, look, I've seen them shoes before, them leopard shoes and them lion shoes. I've seen them somewhere. I don't know where I've seen them. Is he here today? No, he ain't today. But I've seen them somewhere. Right now, there's an Israelite teacher running around with a full outfit like that. But it's all right. Okay? Next slide. All right. Laws concerning cities of refuge. This is actually important. Okay? Let's go down to 19:1, brother.
All right, Devarim 19:1. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And when the Most High your power cuts off the nations whose land that the Most High your power is giving you, and you inherit them and dwell in their cities and their houses, you shall separate 3 cities for yourself in the midst of your land, which the Most High your power is giving you to possess. Prepare the road for yourself and divide it to 3 parts, the boundary of your land, which the Most High your power is giving you as an inheritance, and it will be for every killer to flee there.
Okay. This is also very, very important because once we establish this land, this cannot be the only land that we establish. Okay? We have to continue to grow because we have to understand also that we have enemies out here. We have enemies out here. We have to have strategic plans set up to move our families in case we have to move them from out of that land. Where are we going to send them? Where are we going to send them? These are things that we have to be putting into action. These are plans that we have to write down. We have to be able to put these things into action, okay? Because truthfully, we don't have the manpower to go up against 30,000 of their soldiers or their warriors. We don't have the manpower, but we have strategy. We have strategy. What's one of America's worst battles and that they lost? Vietnam. Why? Guerrilla warfare. Were the Viet Cong stronger than the Americans? Have better technology? See, the Viet Cong didn't care. They understood the terrain. They understood the environment. They understood their environment. They understood the terrain, and they had a willingness to live and die for what they believed in. Americans aren't taught that. America, you're taught to live at all costs, right? Live at all costs means that I'll sell you out to preserve my life. Even if you're just in your actions, I'll create a lie just to throw you down the river so I won't die. We value the flesh too much in America. We value that flesh. Continue reading, brother.
And this is the case of the killer who will flee there, so that he may live whoever strikes his fellow to death unintentionally, whom he did not hate in times past. As when a man goes with his fellow into a forest and chop wood, and the hand swings the axe to cut down the tree, and the iron flees off the handle, and it reaches his fellow, and he dies, and he shall flee to one of these cities and live. Lest the avenger of blood pursue the killer while his heart is hot, and overtake him, because the way is long, and he strikes him to death, whereas he was not deserving of death, for he had not hated him in past times.
See, anything can happen. You could be on a hunting trip, right? You could be out anywhere, fishing, doing anything. God forbid an accident takes place and a brother loses his life. He has to be able to go somewhere, to flee somewhere, right? Because we all understand that God forbid something happens to one of our family members and somebody else is to blame for it. What's the immediate reaction? What's the human reaction? Anger, right? And through anger and rage is what? It clouds your what? Judgment, right? So when your judgment is clouded, 9 times out of 10, you're going to act impulsively, emotionally, and you're probably going to do something that you regret 24 to 48 hours later. Okay? Continue.
Therefore I command you, saying, you shall separate for yourselves 3 cities. And when the Most High your power expands the boundaries, as he swore to your fathers, and he gives you the land which he spoke to give to your forefathers, if you will keep all these commandments and perform it, which I command you this day, to love the Most High your power, and to walk in his ways all the days, you shall add 3 more cities for yourself in addition to these 3, so that innocent blood will not be shed in the midst of your land, which the Most High your power gives you for an inheritance, which you have deemed you guilty of having shed his blood, But if a man hates his fellow, lies in wait for him, rises up against him, and strikes him mortally, and he flees to one of these cities, the elders of the city shall send and take from him, and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, that he may die. And you shall not pity him. You shall abolish the shedding of the blood of the innocent from Israel, and it will be good for you. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Okay, so we have a situation where people need exile and they need places to flee, right? In case of, an accidental death, or, them committing some kind of act that was accidental, that they were able to go a place and flee. But for that individual who was malicious in his intent, we have no place for you to flee. There's nowhere for you to go amongst our civilization, amongst our laws, statutes, and commandments. There's nowhere for you to go. So you better off going back to the white man and staying amongst Israel, and you're committing heinous acts amongst our people. Okay, next slide. Now, this is just right here a list of the non-extradition countries. Okay, now I want you to go down here, and we're going to scroll down, see, all the way at the bottom. You see right there, there's a place called Cuba. Cuba, right? There's a place called Cuba. How do you say that? Cuba. Okay. All right. I need you to teach me Spanish too after we get out of here tonight. Right, after we learn Hebrew, we're going to get into Spanish. Okay. But this is very important. What's up there at the top? It's all the way on the Niger. At the top. What is that? On the Niger, right? North Korea. North Korea. What's up there at the top? All the way at the top. Oh, Afghanistan. Hold up. What's under Kosovo? Right there. You see it? Kuwait. What's two right up under Indonesia? What is that? Iran. Anybody get the thing? Anybody get the thing?
Yeah, we stay going in their places.
Anybody get the thing? Now, okay, what else do we see? Taiwan, Syria, Sudan, Somalia, Saudi Arabia, Senegal, Samoa, Rwanda, Russia. These are all the places that if you commit a crime in the United States of America, then if you happen to make it to those places, chances are they won't extradite you. But there's contingencies to that. Now there's another place that's right down here at the bottom. Now this is the home, this is the non-extradition place and the non-extradition home of all the pedophiles. Okay? This is where all the child molesters get to go, all the baby rapists get to go. Okay? Let's go to the next slide.
All right, it says, escaping to a non-extradition treaty country does not mean you are home free. It simply puts you at the mercy of your new host. You could become a pawn in a larger game and might be traded away for. The political sands are always shifting, and tomorrow's government may be more accommodating to the U.S. The CIA could also kidnap you and bring you back to the United States without your host government's consent or the sight of an armed drone. No matter where you are, no matter where you go, there is no shortage of ways of the U.S. government can hurt you.
This is true. This is true because they operate differently. See, even on the surface, if they have a set of rules and their rules say that we're not going to go in and we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that, what do? They have their black ops stuff, don't they? They got their under the table activities, don't they? Even if they tell you as a neighboring country or as an allied country, you better not go in there and you better not do this, they already plotted and planned anyway on going in there to do it themselves, aren't they? Go to the next slide. Vatican City. This is probably every pedophile. If any pedophiles are at home watching this right now, and I hope to God that you are not. So if you are watching this right now, the Vatican City, this is a refuge. You probably got excited about this picture right here because this place right here houses the most disgusting, vile people in existence, or some of the most disgusting and vile people in existence. Okay, so why do you think that the Catholic, the popes and the preachers, Eddie Long and all these individuals get away with whatever it is that they do? They go right here. Where do you think your presidents go? The Vatican. They all go. They all have rituals that they participate in Vatican City. Go on to the next slide. Who's that guy right there? Now, a lot of people got on Colin Kaepernick because he had a Fidel Castro shirt on. Now, to a lot of people from Cuba, Castro was a harsh dictator. A lot of people, but you have some people from Cuba, a lot also, who love Castro. But to Black Americans, to the Black Panther Party in particular, Castro was an ally. He was a friend. He appreciated liberation. How did Castro get into power? War, liberation, right? Castro loved the Black Panther Party movement. So Castro was not an ally to the United States. The United States hated Castro because who was the #1 enemy or terrorist group in the United States during the 70s? Black Panther Party. And who was on that list before that? Malcolm X. Who was on the list before that? Martin Luther King Jr. On to the next slide. Safe place. That's all we're talking about. Having other places to go that we can be safe. That's it. On to the next one. Laws concerning warfare. I like these laws. We're at 21. 21.
All right. Verse 21 says, "You shall not have pity, life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot." And when you go to war against your enemies, and you see a horse or a chariot, and people more numerous than you, you should not be afraid of them. For the Most High your power is with you, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim. You should not be what? You should not fear. So even if we're going up against a group of almost 10,000 killers, and it's just us in this room against these individuals, we're not supposed to be what? But do we really have that mentality as a group of Israel? I'm not talking about everybody in this room. I'm talking about as a group of Israel as a group. Do we really have that mentality? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Most Israelites are scared when they get pulled over by the police. And this is the truth. And if you're one of those individuals, okay. But I can tell you not in your book. I can tell you not in your book. See, this time for sugarcoating. Oh, it's okay. That's just his spirit. Oh, it's okay. That's just his personality. Stop it. Stop it. The Creator wants us to be zealous. He wants us to be fearless. Only fear him. So all this making excuses for being fearful of this white man's system and this white man's police and his judges, it stops. It stops. We have to stop making excuses for people. We have to stop being tolerant of this. It's weakness. And this kind of weakness is destroying Israel. Continue. "And it will be when you approach the battle that the Kohen shall come near and speak to the people. And he shall say to them, Shema Yisrael, today you are approaching the battle against your enemies. Let your heart not be faint. You shall not be afraid, and you shall not be alarmed, and you shall not be terrified because of them. For the Most High your power is one who goes with you to fight for you against the enemies and save you." He does what? He goes with you and fights against your enemies to save you. "And the officers shall speak to the people, saying, What man is there who has built a house and has not yet inaugurated it?" Let me ask you a question. If you're about to get in a fight right now, and you got Mike Tyson, Kimbo Slice, Anderson Silva, and Conor McGregor, they all with you right now. Are you nervous? They fighting with me? They fight with you. I'm in there. You in there, right? Yeah, you know. Okay. Are they greater than the Creator? No. Are they even close to being greater than the Creator? Not even. Oh, okay. All right. Let's continue. You have not inaugurated. "Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in war and another man inaugurate it. And what man is there who has planted a vineyard and is not yet redeemed it? Let him go and return to his house, unless he die in the war and another man redeem it. And what man is there who has betrothed a woman and has not yet taken her? Let him go and return to his house, unless he die in war and another man take her.
So we have provisions for brothers going into war that have things going on prior to battle, correct? That are important to the preservation of his livelihood, okay? The Most High is not going to throw you out there to destroy your seed so that you have nothing. He's not going to do that to you. So he's already made provisions. Does the United States of America government do that? What happens if you get enlisted and you got a pregnant girlfriend? What happens? You still got to go, don't you? Okay. All right, continue. But hold on. They make provisions for homosexuals. They got provisions for them. They got a lot of stipulations and provisions for them, don't they? But they'll send you out there to die quick, fast, and in a hurry. Think about it. Continue.
And the officers shall continue to speak to the people, say, what man is there who is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go and return to his house, that he should not cause the heart of his brothers to melt in his heart.
So fearful and faint-hearted, let him go. So if you don't have the fortitude, and I'll leave the other word out. If you don't have the fortitude, you can pick up on what I'm saying. If you don't have the fortitude to get out here and go to war, it's okay. It may not be in you to do that. You may be a scientist. You may be a doctor. We need you back in the community anyway. Okay? We don't need you down here. We need your information in the classroom. We need your information passing on to save the lives in the community, on the land. We don't need you down on the battlefield. We got folks for that. Next.
And it shall be when the officials, the officials finish speaking to the people, and they shall appoint officers the leaders of the edges of the people. And when you approach the city to wage war against it, you shall propose a peace to it. And it will be, if it responds to you with peace and it opens to you, then it will be that all the people found therein shall become tributary to you and shall serve you. But if it does not make peace with you and wages war against you, you shall besiege it. And
so when we're approaching peacefully, now this is not saying that I'm coming to you and come on, let's no, we're going to war. We're in the mode of war, but I'm going to approach you peacefully, meaning I'm going to give you an opportunity to throw up the white flag. Otherwise, you're going to get some love. Continue reading.
And when the Most High your power will deliver it into your hand, and you shall strike it, all the males with the edge of the sword. However, the women, the children, and the livestock, and all that is in the city, and its spoils, you shall take for yourself, and you shall eat the spoils of your enemies, which the Most High your power is giving you. Thus you shall do to all the cities that are very far from you, which are not in the cities of these nations. However, of these people's cities, which the Most High your power gives you as an inheritance, you shall not allow any soul to live. Rather, you shall utterly destroy them, the Hittite, the Amorite, the Canaanite, the Perizzite, the Hiwite, the Yebusite, as the Most High your power has commanded you, so that you should not so they should not teach you to act according to all their abominations that they have done for their gods, whereby you would sin against the Most High your power. And when you besiege a city for many days and wage war against it to capture it, you shall not destroy its tree by wielding an axe against it, for you may eat from them, but you shall not cut them down. Is the tree of the field a man to go into a siege before you? However, a tree knows not the food. However, a tree you know is not a food tree. You may destroy it, cut it down, and you shall build bulwarks against the city and make war against you until its submission. If a slave person be found in the land,
That's good right there. That's good right there. Okay, on to the next slide. Uncle Sam, America wants you. America wants you. We don't want you though. On to the next slide. These are some of the qualifications to serve in this man's military right here. You must be a U.S. citizen or resident alien. You must be at least 17 years old. 17-year-old applicants require parental consent. You must, with very few exceptions, have a high school diploma. You must pass a physical medical exam. For each branch, there are slightly different enlistment requirements. That's very basic, right? They just taking you in. Why? Because they know they're getting what off you? Huh? They're getting free labor off you. They're getting free labor off you. On to the next slide. Okay, this is the requirements for the Army. Very basic, very simple. On to the next slide. This is the requirement for the Marines. See, the Marines, they've added a little different kind of stipulation there. What is that? That's women. Women are eligible to enlist in all occupational exception of combat arms specialists, infantry, tank, and amphibian tractor crew. On to the next slide. Okay. I'm going to go back up. I want to go into the laws concerning witnesses and then we're done. Okay. That's 15. 19 and 15. Is it? Yeah, 19 verse 15. Chapter 19 verse 15.
All right. So Deuteronomy chapter 19 verse 15. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
One witness shall not rise up against any person for an iniquity or any sin regarding any sin that he will sin. By the mouth of 2 witnesses or by the mouth of 3 witnesses shall a matter be confirmed. If a false witness rises up against a man to bear perverted testimony against him, then the 2 men between whom the controversy exists shall stand before the Most High, before the Kohanim and the judges who will be in those days. And the judges shall inquire thoroughly, and behold, the witness is a false witness. He has testified falsely against his neighbor.
Stop right there. So, how often do we get these false testimonies from witnesses in courtrooms?
All the time.
All the time, right? We get men lying on women. We get women lying on men. We get women screaming rape, right? Nobody's there to witness. You destroy lives. Why? Because what? We had an argument. Things didn't work out the way you wanted to. Young men, I'm talking to you. Y'all, please pay attention. Please pay attention. Focus on your law, statutes, commandments. Focus on your Torah. Focus on your lessons. Don't worry about these young girls. Don't worry about it. It'll come. It's not time yet. On to the next slide. Right here, this is the 18 U.S. Code 3502, admissibility in evidence of eyewitness testimony. This is for the United States of America. The testimony of a witness that he saw the accused commit or participate in the commission of the crime for which the accused is being tried shall be admissible in evidence in a criminal prosecution in any trial court ordained and established under Article 3 of the Constitution of the United States. So all I got to do is step up and say, I saw him do it. I saw him do it. And the way this system is constructed, if I'm crooked enough, if I'm wicked enough, and I got a wicked judge, all I got to do is pay off a couple people, bribe a couple folks, and I'm home free. Or I got my guy that I want to get locked up. I'm getting him locked up. But in Israel, we have different orders. We have different rules. In a community, things are different. We don't operate like that. So those things we don't have to worry about. For anybody wanting to come into this way of life, we don't have to worry about those things. On to the next slide. Eyewitness testimony. What do? You swear on the Bible, right? I'm swearing on the Bible. Tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help you God. On to the next slide. See, right now, under these laws, statutes, and commandments, this whole lesson is basically giving us the blueprint. The blueprint to establish a community. It's very simple. We have a foundation. We have everything that we need. Now it is time for us to put pen to paper and write down what it is that we vote on and we come up with, as long as it's following Torah. That's it. It's very simple. So now once we put pen to paper and we actually have a physical laws that we can put our hands on, that we can hold each other accountable for, now we begin to heal. Now we begin to change the mind state. See, we're doing something that's new. And nobody's going to jump on board at the beginning stages. Not too many. Because nobody wants to be a part of something at the beginning. Everybody wants to be a part of something when it's jumping, when it's cracking, right? And then they want to say, man, I've been down the whole time. It just took me a little while to get at you. I've been cool with y'all boys for a minute. Just took me a little while to get at you. These are the excuses we're going to face. We know they're coming. We know everybody wants to see it fail or see it succeed so they can either jump on board and say, I told you it wasn't going to work. See, we got so many excuses right now in Israel of why this way of life is not going to work. What's the number one excuse? The clouds are going to open up and I ain't doing nothing till Yahweh Shah comes back and he's going to set it all in order. That's foolishness. That's foolishness. The Most High gave us the Torah for a reason. It's forever breathing. It's forever living. And we should be following it to the days we die. We need to construct a place, as we are doing now, where our children don't have to worry about going out, talking to a drug dealer, talking to a pimp, talking to a prostitute. My child could go to your house right now and knock on the door, and you say, hey, little Sammy, hey, little Samaya, I know where you're supposed to be at. Or, hey, come on in, get you some lemonade. You see my child out in the street running around doing what she's not supposed to do, you know what to do. This is what community is about, and we've gotten away from that. 1970s was the downfall. CIA brought crack cocaine into the ghetto, and then by the 1980s, it was over. By 1990, you couldn't even tell. And what happened? The generation that was supposed to be teaching my generation, they were gone. I'm an 80s baby, 1980. My leaders from my generation were gone. So we were kind of self-taught in the 80s. Luckily for us, some of us still had our parents, our fathers around. But the fathers that we were supposed to have around, they were either strung out or in jail. And so that started to break the cycle. So once these new kids started coming up, their fathers weren't there. Because the fathers were from my generation. And so we couldn't teach them what we didn't already have. And this is the importance right now of our elders coming back in and our elders being here. I need to sit up under all three of these elders in here today because I'm trying to learn. And if we can't abstract knowledge from our elders, we have nothing. I thank everybody for listening today. Community is very, very important. I hope that we're striving to build this community. I hope that we're striving to your life. And we're just looking forward to continue to grow this thing. All praise to the great Creator. Hallelujah. Thank you all. I'm sorry, I had to say something. Asa, I just didn't recognize anything about you today. Yes, no, it's not the no, brother, it's the hair. Your hair's gone, bro. Hope you saved it in the bag. It's in the bag. I got it for you. My brothers who were born. I got you.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Awesome lesson, man. We thank our brothers for coming up here. We thank them Almighty for all things and everything. The elder sister that just left, she gave us a word and blessing. She was just so proud of what we're doing. She said this is what her husband wanted to do for so long, to get land and move a community on there. And she's been around. The lady that's sitting in that chair right there, she that just helped raise my emo. So she remembered me from young. She remembered my mother before I was even born. And she helped raise my emo up at Bethel Shalom. And I got to meet her here, and it was such a blessing and it's an honor. And I want the elders to listen to this. You don't have youth that rebel against you. They actually want your guidance. You just don't know. And understand that there's a form of communication. We're here. We beg for leadership from elders. We love it. We just grow differently. We're not in a time where in order to vie for leadership positions, you have to become like a leader. We're a generation where we become like who we are and grow up in how we are. We are all different. So my style of teaching may not be Cohen Levy's or Cohen Mikael's. It's Yeshua's. It doesn't make me evil. It doesn't make me different. So you have us here. What do you want to do with us? We're doing this for the elders. Everything we doing, we living for the elders. I speak with my father almost every single day. That's the type of relationship I have with my father. He continually guides me. He continually helps me through all the ups and downs. And as a young man, we go through a lot of ups and downs. So I want us to just be open. Like he said something important. Steve Harvey has a way of generation bashing. He really does. He's very negative towards the younger generation. Steve Harvey never examined it. The younger generation is this way because of who? The generation before. I can't be mad at my children and talk about this generation don't understand because my children are a product of me. They're a product of us. You know, where these kids come from. You know where them kids came from. Don't act. You take responsibility for your children and your generation. And he's right. One of the biggest things that destroyed Israel was crack cocaine. I remember some of the most powerful teachers, they'll disappear for months and they come back. They would come back, and they wouldn't be the same, but it would be gone. And my father would go to house and fill in each house and drop money off to these sisters because they know that their husbands were strung out. I'm telling you how many houses my father used to visit. And just go by and say, hey, you know, you need anything? Oh yeah, we haven't seen food and such and such. And then they'll give it because the fathers were gone. They were gone, but we still here and we still loyal. We still loyal. And we need our elders teaching. Nobody here, if I have any opportunity to sit down and don't teach the week, I'm happy to take it. But say, yo, who's teaching this week? I say, you. You know, we don't need everything to sound the same. We need people with different point of views. We need elders to teach that come from age. A lot of the mistakes we making today happened in the past. It happened in the past. We're doing the same thing that they did in the 80s and the 90s, but since we didn't listen to our elders, we're repeating it. And unity is very important, but there's a false unity that won't be accepted. There's a unity in truth. There's a unity in truth. We can all come together. That sounds beautiful, but is it truth? Some people are just divisive. That's all they want. They want to be. People want to be divisive. We're not. We always started out as an all-accepting group. We accept anybody. We accepted people that were messianic. We accepted people that were rabbinical. We accepted people that were from More Alicia. It didn't matter. We were talking unity, and we are really and still are for unity. We always have been. That's all we always going to be about. And now the ball is rolling. We have a movement that the elders have to be a part of. But it has to be done in truth. So all praises, all honor, all glory to the supreme intellect of the universe. And remember, leadership is not an easy thing. You know what made the United States so strong is the support of their leadership. Leadership, a president cannot be taken out or impeached for a mistake. He can't be impeached for several mistakes. If that's the case, Donald Trump wouldn't be the president right now. He has to do something. A president can lead somebody into war and get destroyed and still can't be impeached. Because there is ways, there's things that has to be done. We have to respect order. We have to respect rank. We have to respect position. We're so quick to give up on our people. And guess what? Young leaders didn't ask to be leaders. Not one of us. We filled in a void. See, when Shomrey HaTorah was started, it wasn't because there was every other organizations. I went to the KOI and I just didn't like it. They wasn't speaking what I was speaking. But we weren't having services no more. And the group of young brothers got together and the first thing we did was call the elder, correct? We called the elder. First thing we go, because there ain't no service, ain't nothing going on without the elder in the midst. So we here and we willing to talk, we're willing to learn, and we're willing to grow together. But when you wrong somebody, and we all wrong individuals, we have to be able to apologize. We're coming into a place called in a time of Yom Kippur. We have to be able to come to the brother and not, if I offended you, my brother, I apologize, because that is not an apology. You say what I did. Hey, you know, I did do wrong. You know, I was wrong about this. I was wrong about that. We all humans, and we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. I remember when I was just a rapper. All I wanted to do was battle, and then I just became engulfed in God. I changed up everything. We know I used to come up here with a baseball hat and some jeans on. But that wasn't what the elders wanted. And I couldn't communicate to the elders or speak to a generation that didn't see themselves in me. So we all changing and we all evolving. And this is all love. And that's true love, true love. That Jonathan didn't care about. Jonathan was the heir to the throne. But he knew that David was better. And that was true love. True love shows that no matter, there is not a fight of position, but a love for one another, and may the person that do it the best do it. Because when you ask for a king, you ask for somebody that was charismatic. That's what you ask for. That's what he said. And when you appoint yourself kings like unto the nations, God said he will take your daughters. He's going to add a tenth of type to you. And they said, give us one. Because they're caught into that. And so sometimes the things that we speak about and the things that have to be taught, charisma is a part. There's aspects of leadership that people look for. And see, as young people, you have to earn your spot. As elders, your spot is earned. So we take what y'all laid, the foundation of what you laid. I can show you pictures for 70 years, for 60 years ago on SHABBAT. I can show you pictures of ancient Benazir and brothers looking just like this, how you see me today. Just like this. That means that culture stayed there. That culture stayed there. We are here for the culture. We are here to keep everything. And we are not here to forsake any of our elders. We are students of our elders, and we want to make y'all smile. We want to have a place where y'all can go to bed at and feel safe and say, dang, if we continue on this journey of congregationalism, then we're going to die and we're going to lose our children. There is no wisdom that me or any of these brothers will forsake. If you're going to guide us as an elder, guide us with a pure heart, and we all are here. We need it. And we may not talk the lingo like you talk. Sometimes we may not even look. Sometimes we don't even see the book like you see it, because guess what? Our eyes is in a different level of education than it was. This brother, he put together this lesson. How many libraries you think he went to? Not one. Jaquain, elders, y'all know when y'all had to put the lessons together back in the day, you had to go to one library, they had a book, you travel all the way to another library. We have knowledge in our hands. So things are different. We're moving faster with knowledge and information. Just like my child. Some of my children are smarter than me now. And I accept it. I have to cope with it. I have to deal with it. And it's natural. It's a natural part of life. But what they don't have that I have is the discipline. So knowledge is always going to continue. But that wisdom and understanding is the foundation that makes people older different than the people that are young. So that discretion is there. I can teach them the foundation of knowledge, but my son is going to surpass me. My sons are going to surpass me with the information. I am just going to make sure that they remain disciplined. Remain disciplined. And it's going to have to be a time when I sit down and I listen to my son teach up here at the age of 16 and at the age of 17, and I'm blown away. I look around like, dang, I didn't think of that. And he only 16 and 17. Imagine when he's 30. What I'm going to be saying to him? Son, be strong and courageous. So we here, though. We here, and we thrive. We thrive, and we strive for all of us to be strong. And the future is before us, and I want everybody to really feel it, because this is and you hear words right now. The next month or so, you're going to start seeing the action. And we've only been delayed. We've been delayed in the process of the land, because last month we were supposed to make the cash exchange, but guess what happened? The man died that we were buying the land from. The day before the cash exchange was supposed to happen. And then what took us long is now they had to find an heir. And guess what? He didn't have what? An heir. So now they have an heir, and they're going to do it as a family, and it's happening on the 6th of September. After the 6th of September, anybody before the 6th of September, the land is still open for us. We are already invested $10,000 before the land was even purchased to show how serious we were. You know, you got to get the land surveyed, you got to get other things done. All of that was done. Rob Zuridan, along with Yisrael, have put in the land. Shema Yisrael sitting on the building that's worth almost a little over $500,000. That building is owned. You understand? So these are investments we're all willing to make. My father will be down here in a year and a half. My father will be down here. He said, I'm done with this. This is religion. I can't do religion no more. He watches kids grow up and they part Hebrew, part Negro. No matter how much we think these kids is going to be caught up in that world. He showed you pictures of there's gays all over the place. And guess what? You better not say nothing to them. I just want a society for our children to grow and our elders to relax. We spend so much energy fighting one another that we can't get anything done. Imagine when a peaceful mind and we have so much to do, a clear land and work to be done. Israel hasn't been doing the work. We just been in congregations like churches. So don't tell me, oh, I'm not an Israel. Israel's not a religion. Yes, it is. Because the national aspect we haven't done. It's time the nation build. Come on. Let's build this. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Let us all rise and face the east. Hallelujah. See Adam in Adam travel in lands that not our own. On these roads are uphill battle, and I am not alone. And so I realize this is not our home. Whoa. My God, come help me. I have endured a lot of pain. This is slavery, but with a different Pharaoh, and we don't think we're slaves. Remove the shackles from our brain, ease with me. Through the valley of the shadow of death, my destiny is in the presence of our King. Whoa. With him there is freedom. Please take us like we used to be. All praises, all honor, all glory unto thee, O supreme intellect of the universe. Yah, forgive us for our sins and iniquities, and let truth reside, O great King. Let truth reign, O Most High, and let iniquity reside, O Heavenly Father. Allow our foot to move forward, our feet to move forward in righteous paths, O great King. And allow the endeavor that we take on in the path that we're about to venture into, O great King, be of great success, O Heavenly Father. Please allow the music to play in our ears of unity and be at peace with one another. Allow us to have tranquility and serenity and trust one another, O great King. Thank you, O Most High, for the spirit of loyalty with brothers that surround us, O great Heavenly Father. First and foremost, Most High, thank you for my brother Serenasa, O Heavenly Father. I thank you for Hagibor Gabriel, O Most High. I thank you for Hagibor Shimiwell, sweet God. And I thank you also for Maury Gabriel, Minister Yosef, O Heavenly Father. For Don Mario, O Heavenly Father, Elder Yosef, O great King, for our family, O Heavenly Father. For you have taught us to trust one another with love through all our differences, O Heavenly Father. For we argue all the time, O Heavenly Father, but still have love and come together. We still unite under the banner of Torah and truth. And we thank you for having the elders to come visit us today. Our Seren Yaakov, O great King. Ema amongst us, Ema Nawa, and Adon Shape, Adon Seth, oh Heavenly Father. Well, I'm happy to even meet them and be in the presence of such history, oh great King. And we thank you for allowing us to have that spirit of unity and allowing our elders to speak clear words to us, oh great King, precise words that are echoes from generation to generation. It feels good, oh Heavenly Father, to hear his voice, to be in the position that he deserves, oh Heavenly Father. He is the leader amongst us and always will be, oh Heavenly Father. Forgive us all for our sins and iniquities and shortcomings. Forgive us for bad decisions and bad ideas and concepts, oh great King. But we all learn from our mistakes. This is how we grow faster and faster. For the richest man in the world made more mistakes than the poorest man, oh great King. So mistakes are a part of our journey, oh Heavenly Father. Allow us to admit our flaws and acknowledge these flaws so we can grow from them and move fast and be progressive in advancing, oh great King. And please bless this land of Goshen, oh Most High, which we call it in the land of Sparta, oh Heavenly Father. Where we have other Israelites that are building similar around us, oh Heavenly Father. But we have people that are going to help us with our agriculture. We have investors, oh Heavenly Father. We are building a temple out there that should be erected, oh great King, at the beginning of 2018, oh Heavenly Father. And we're not talking about something simple and plain, oh Heavenly Father, but something that we can call home, oh great King. These are the ideas and concepts. We are setting up a military, oh Most High, to defend that land, oh great King, and under the leadership and the guidance of our brother Hagibor, oh Heavenly Father. We have all of these things put in place, and we're ready to move forward, oh great and mighty King. Please teach us how to unite. Teach us how to love, oh great King. For we all have been scarred and we have been warring with each other too long. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for all things and everything. Hallelujah. 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 Amen.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let our song, Yahovah, Suri, Wegoali, Shema Yisrael, Yahovah Eloheinu, Yahovah Echad, Baruch Shem Kevo, Marudo Leholam Vaye. Shema Yisrael, Yehovah Eloheinu, Yehovah Echad. Blessed be the name of his glorious kingdom forever and ever. Wako Yisraelu. Amen. Hallelujah. 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 We pay homage. To the power of Abraham. To the power of Ishaq. And the power of Israel. Hallelujah. 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 Praise the mighty Yah. Amen.
Shema Yisrael, Yahovah Eloheinu, Yahovah Eloheinu, Yahovah Eloheinu, Shema Yisrael, Yahovah Eloheinu, Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All right, we'll be meeting. We will have meetings all this week. We have to, in order to make this transition. The setup that we have in the park is going to be a nice setup. We're going to hand out brochures. All of these things, we're going to do it real big. So we're going to be meeting during the week. Check your group me for updates. We will be at more than likely Woodrow Park, and if not, Hurt Park at 4 p.m. next Shabbat. So keep it listed. If anybody who wants to know more about the land, I'm open to discuss it. And after we done eating, I'm gonna walk with my elder Sarah Yaakov and have a brief discussion. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Donations and obligations for the nation, and we pray that the Almighty can bless everyone. Remember, give to the Creator first, and He'll bless you sevenfold. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Amen.